Douluo, the sacred dragon staff. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 251 The Pope's Declaration. Bibi Dong watched the descending spirit master formations, her heart filled with joy. Finally, she no longer had to hide. She was about to unleash a thunderbolt upon the entire Douluo Continent. The spirit hall was the most powerful. Bibi Dong pounded the Pope's scepter. Unleashing a powerful spirit force, she shouted loudly. Spirit hall! Long live! The quiet formations below erupted in a violent roar. Spirit hall! Long live! Spirit hall! Long live! Spirit hall! Long live! Seeing the spirit hall's powerful aura, Bibi Dong was delighted. With a wave of her hand, the entire spirit master formation below the Pope's palace fell silent. Today, I have summoned you all because of a major event. This event involves the previous Pope, His Majesty Jinzunji, who is also my teacher. Back then, Pope Jinzunji led the spirit hall to capture Tang Hao, who was harboring a 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast, but was severely injured and eventually died of his injuries. The Haoshan sect undoubtedly slapped the face of the spirit hall. After I took over as Pope, I encircled and suppressed the Haoshan sect. The Haoshan sect closed the mountain and the spirit hall won a great victory. Wherever my spirit hall is, all disciples of the Haoshan sect must give way. And the Haoshan sect is not allowed to appear in the Soul Master world. This is the rule, and 3 years ago, my spirit hall's new elder Li Yusong killed the Haoshan sect's serious criminal Tang Hao. Revenge for the previous Pope. And it was exactly 3 years ago, at the Continental Advanced Soul Master competition, Tang Xiao, the leader of the Haoshan sect. He dared to kill Elder Li in the spirit hall, which was undoubtedly a slap in the face of our spirit hall. Moreover, Tang Hao and Tang Sen, the evil son of the soul beast, repeatedly injured and maimed their opponents in the Soul Master competition. The situation was so bad that they still went their own way, even after being warned by Tyrant Douluo. One can imagine how domineering the disciples of Haoshan sect are. Our spirit hall is the holy land of spirit masters, and we should eradicate these scum of spirit masters. Moreover, Haoshan sect violated the regulations of the year and came out. I, who belong to the spirit hall, must destroy the Haoshan sect. Destroy the sect that is rich in soul master scum. Destroy the Haoshan sect. Bibi Dong's declaration was spread throughout the spirit hall. The spirit masters in the audience all understood the general details of the matter and began to whisper. The union of soul beasts and humans? Isn't this an orc? Disgusting. Tang Hao. Rape. Haoshan scum. Shame on the soul master. Destroy the Haoshan sect. Yes, destroy the Haoshan sect. Destroy the Haoshan sect. Destroy the Haoshan sect. Bibi Dong's wave of mobilization in front of the station directly brought the fighting spirit of the Wuhan Palace to its peak. To destroy the Clear Sky sect, Bibi Dong mobilized 8,000 spirit masters. Originally, she planned to use these to destroy the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan. However, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan surrendered, and the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect was on the verge of being taken down. So, Bibi Dong gathered these men to destroy the Clear Sky sect. Bibi Dong desperately needed a major battle to solidify her position. She wanted to portray herself as the most brilliant Pope in history. She wanted to ultimately establish the Spirit Empire and unify the Douluo Continent. This was Bibi Dong's ambition. The Clear Sky sect had a vast core of disciples, over 2,000 strong, more than even the peak-level Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan. They boasted over 1,000 combat-ready spirit masters, including over 300 elite direct descendants. Furthermore, the Clear Sky sect still possessed 5 titled Douluo. Even though Tang Xiao had been demoted to Soul Douluo, the remaining 5 titled Douluo were a formidable force. Although Li Yusong had lashed out against the Clear Sky hammer, it remained a top-tier weapon spirit, and a large-scale one at that. Bibi Dong mobilized over 8,000 men, outnumbering the Clear Sky sect 8 to 1, aiming for complete destruction. As for the title Douluo, Bibi Dong had recently defeated the Grand Priest Jin Daoliu head-on, seizing all power within the Spirit Hall. And because her goal was to destroy the Clear Sky sect, even the other priests had sided with Bibi Dong. This time, the title Douluo dispatched was led by King Li Daoluo. With a spirit power of level 97, King Li Daoluo was more than capable of the task. Following suit were the priests dispatched, Lion Douluo, Light Feather Douluo, Thousand Strength Douluo, Demon Subduing Douluo, and Tyrant Douluo. The title Douluo dispatched by the Elder Hall included Ghost Douluo, Chrysanthemum Douluo, Wind God Douluo, Spirit Kite Douluo, Ghost Leopard Douluo, and Demon Bear Douluo. Among them, Spirit Kite Douluo, Ghost Leopard Douluo, and Demon Bear Douluo perfectly completed their missions in the Heaven Dao Empire, helping Jin Ringsu completely conquer the empire. Bibi Dong delighted them by rewarding each with a 10,000-year soul bone, good for approximately 40,000 years. Snake Spear Douluo and Thorny Porpoise Douluo also received rewards, but they remain in the Heaven Dao Empire, protecting and monitoring the double. The latest novel is available for release on the 6th book bar. The double is aware of the surveillance, but he feels safer this way. Once his mission is perfectly completed, he can accompany the queen on a journey through the Douluo Continent and receive a substantial reward from the young master. Furthermore, the current crown prince, the double's son, has awakened a swan spirit with the attribute of light, a benign variation of his duck spirit, and his innate spirit power has reached level 8. The double was eager to complete the mission quickly. After the young master bestowed upon him a vast fortune, he would raise his son well. He would make his son a title Douluo. He would fulfill his previously unattainable dream of becoming a powerful being. Therefore, Snake Spear and Thorny Porpoise were now completely on leave in the Heaven Dao Empire. Although their strength had increased to level 93, their talents capped out at level 95. Meanwhile, their former colleagues, Ghost Leopard Douluo, had already broken through to level 96, and Spirit Kite Douluo had reached level 94. The title Douluo Elders of the Spirit Hall, who were on missions in the Heaven Dao Empire, had also seen a significant increase in strength. This was Bibi Dong's confidence. For added assurance, she personally defeated Jin Daoliu and secured the support of the priests. What a ridiculous agreement. You, a retired old man, are trying to bind me with your agreement? Bibi Dong wasn't concerned about Tang Chen's survival. Even if he did, she was confident she could kill him herself. After all, even with the divine power of the great angel priest, Jin Daoliu was still utterly defeated by Bibi Dong, who possessed a divine artifact. With such a major event, Spirit Hall was deprived of 60% of its strength, making it vulnerable. Fortunately, 2 years ago, Spirit Hall gave birth to new ultimate Douluo, Golden Crocodile Douluo. Utilizing the Soul Core technique, Golden Crocodile Douluo cultivated a dual spirit core with isotopic resonance. He then broke through to level 99 and took up the defense of Spirit Hall. Bibi Dong also left behind the Angel Legion, who remained behind to protect the Spirit Hall. This order was issued by Jin Ringsu, the current patriarch of the Angel family. After Jin Ringsu's breakthrough to title Douluo, she successfully became patriarch of the Angel family, commanding the Angel Legion, the true elite of spirit masters. Golden Crocodile Douluo, the bedridden Jin Daoliu, the remaining title Douluo, and the Angel Legion were more than enough to protect Spirit Hall. If they couldn't even protect them, Bibi Dong would seriously intend to slaughter those two old men. With the glory of Spirit Hall. Let's go, Bibi Dong shouted, and His Holiness the Pope's 8,000-man Spirit Master army immediately left Spirit City and headed towards the Clear Sky sect. This time, destroying the Clear Sky sect was a big deal, and there was no room for carelessness. Chapter 252, Opinions of Various Forces. The Spirit Hall's Spirit Masters split into several formations and rapidly advanced towards Clear Sky Mountain. The title Douluo flew, while Bibi Dong, the Pope, was pulled by spirit beasts. These beasts were tamed, so pulling the carts was no problem. The Spirit Hall's massive operation had already reached the two empires and most of the sects, though the Clear Sky sect remained unaware. Furthermore, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect was already on high alert. Ningfengzi feared he would be the next target, so he decided to proceed cautiously and strengthen his sect's defenses. After all, during the years of the Clear Sky sect's seclusion, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect had been the biggest winner. Ning Fengzi had recruited countless talented and powerful individuals to the sect. The Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect now boasted over 4,000 members. While there weren't many direct disciples, the majority were outsiders, given the generous support provided by the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Furthermore, as a merchant sect, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect's direct disciples are modest and humble, with the exception of Ning Rongrong. Because of this, many civilian spirit masters have received assistance from the direct disciples of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, with the exception of Ning Rongrong. Because their spirits are the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Tower, a support-type spirit, they are able to clearly define their status and thus possess exceptional interpersonal skills, with the exception of Ning Rongrong. Consequently, direct disciples of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect are deeply loyal in their relationships. While they may be somewhat vulnerable, they possess abundant wealth and are exceptional personalities. What young man wouldn't love a wealthy woman? What young woman could resist a wealthy man? For example, Ning Fengzi, the sect master of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, has numerous wives, all of whom have achieved soul sage cultivation or above, with one even reaching the soul Douluo level. He also has many sons, though none of them are particularly impressive, with the highest attaining only level 7 in spirit power. However, they all contribute to the sect's development. This allows all direct disciples to see that if even the sect master's sons are working hard to build the sect, why shouldn't they? Thus began the internal struggle, which lasted until Ning Rongrong was born. Her highest innate talent, a level 9.5 innate spirit power, was born. Since the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect had more male members than any other sect, they all adored this girl. Even the two protector Douluos were particularly fond of her, leading to her arrogance and dominance. Of course, it wasn't that Ning Rongrong lacked business acumen. On the contrary, she was the most intelligent, witty, and eccentric. But her dislike of these twists and turns didn't mean she was clueless. The Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect's hidden internal struggles had allowed it to flourish, reaching over 4,000 disciples, the highest among the three great sects. At its peak, the Haoshan sect boasted only 5,000 disciples, including its affiliated sects. Yet, the sect dismissed its loyal subordinates whenever trouble arose. Their decline was well deserved. As for the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect, those dragons were so discriminating. Their bloodline so tightly bound to their own, and anyone not of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex was looked down upon. Their sect now numbered only a little over 1,800 disciples. The Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect currently lacks a sufficient number of high-end combatants, with only 2 titled Douluo. Jiangu. A few more would be much better. The Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect is not short of core strength, boasting the highest number of soul Douluo of any major sect aside from the Spirit Hall. No other sect possesses a higher number of soul Douluo. Furthermore, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect boasts 4 individuals with soul power reaching level 89. Unfortunately, their advanced age makes further breakthroughs difficult, and even if they managed to do so, they would only reach the level of ordinary title Douluo. Ning Fengzi was sweating profusely, deeply concerned that Bibi Dong would find evidence against him and lead to the sect's destruction. He was well aware of the Spirit Hall's strength. The so-called shared ties between the three sects were merely a form of mutual support, but the unexpected Haoshan sect's direct surrender completely rebuked Ning Fengzi, forcing him to abandon any notion of shared ties. Later, he planned to ally with the Heaven Dao Empire to protect the sect, promising a higher level of security. However, this proved ineffective over the years, as he witnessed the decline of the Heaven Dao Empire. Currently, their only partner was Shrek Academy, a formidable force, but its core figure, Li Yusong, was a Spirit Hall elder. Ning Fengzi had entertained the idea of surrendering to the Spirit Hall. After all, ensuring the sect's long-term stability was a positive development, though he would merely serve as a Spirit Hall lackey. But after hundreds of years, who would remember? As the sect leader, he alone could bear the infamy. This awareness had been in his mind since the day he took over. Meanwhile, within the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan, Uluomian had long since joined the Spirit Hall and was now a Spirit Hall elder. He had also accepted the deployment, but Bibi Dong hadn't sent him to the battlefield, instead allowing him to observe the action from a spectator's perspective. Uluomian sneered. This was just killing a chicken to scare the monkeys. They were slaughtering the Haoshan sect to intimidate him, the world's #1 beast spirit sect, to keep them in line. Uluomian could only sigh. After all, The blue lightning Tyrannosaurus rex family was truly struggling, with only him, a single title Douluo, holding it together. Perhaps a turnaround would emerge once his grandson, Yu matured. After a moment of hesitation, seeing that the time was almost up, Yu Luomian headed towards the Haoshan sect. He had to watch the battle. The once #1 sect was being annihilated, so how could he not be there? Elsewhere, within the Shrek team, quite a few had come to witness the Haoshan sect's destruction. First up were Li Lujin, Du Yuyan, Jin Ringsu, and the rest of the Shrek team. Teachers included Flanders, Zhao Wuji, Li Werlong, Li Yusong, Lu Kibin, Xiao Xin, and others. Also present were former students like Qin Ming and Mo Yu. Shrek City has arrived, along with Yang Wudi, Niu Gao, and the Tiger Brothers, Dai Xiangxing and Dai Xianyun. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. No, the Tiger Brothers, more accurately. The Tiger Brothers, are now the Tiger Brothers. Some time ago, a Seoul Douluo master named Mo King applied for a position at Shrek Academy. Wanting to join Shrek City, Flanders naturally agreed. Later, it was revealed that Mo King was once a member of the White Tiger sect, childhood friends of the Dai brothers. They were once known as the Tiger Brothers, the future of the White Tiger sect. The three pillars of the future Xingluo Empire. But they were destroyed by Dai Xianyao, nearly pissing the old emperor off to death. How could he not be furious to see the three future titled Douluos he had painstakingly trained forced to leave the Xingluo Empire? Mo King left after learning the truth about the Dai brothers. He no longer had faith in this country. Born a commoner, he possessed a mutated spirit, the Dark Gold Tiger King, possessing Gold attributes. His combat prowess rivaled that of the White Tiger spirit, prompting him to be summoned to the White Tiger sect. However, his good brother, Dai Xiangxing, was framed, and Dai Xianyun disappeared. They were both royal relatives, and their father, a great general, had been murdered like this. How could he possibly survive? He then left, wandering the continent for a long time, even spending several years overseas. He recently returned, and upon learning the brothers were in Shrek City, he sought refuge there. Mo King, older than the Dai brothers, was the eldest, and his spirit power had reached level 86. Li Luochen remarked, Dai Xianyao, that old fellow is truly amazing. How could he be so gifted? Did his mind become corrupted during the throne struggle? He deserved more such good subordinates. Many factions on the continent now follow the Spirit Hall team to the Haoshan sect to witness history. Chapter 253. The advantage lies in the Spirit Hall. Many major forces on the continent were heading for the Clear Sky sect, yet the sect's disciples were unaware of the impending disaster. Several elders felt their eyelids twitching, perhaps exhausted from the previous night's overwork. Now they could only focus on expanding the sect's branches and teaching them the Clear Sky Hammer technique. As for Tang Xiao, the Clear Sky sect's leader, he and Tang San were hunting souls in the Star Dou Great Forest. In the mixed circle of the Star Dou Great Forest, a giant green tree collapsed with a crashing crash, and then 8 purple-black spider legs sprouted from the back of a young man, absorbing the tree's life force. Xiao San, don't absorb it carelessly. It will weaken your foundation, Tang Xiao shouted to Tang San from the side. Don't worry, uncle. I know what's going on. The soul beasts I devoured before were all poisonous, tainting my own vitality. This giant tree of life's vitality is just the right thing to replenish. Uncle, I promise you. After this absorption, I will no longer use the 8 spider lance to absorb vitality. I will ensure that it is the soul power I have cultivated. Tang San's words made Tang Xiao pause, but Tang Xiao ultimately did not stop Tang San. Seeing that his uncle did not continue to stop him, Tang San was also happy. After all, not many people cared about him anymore, but he was even more eager for power. The 8 spider lance's devouring ability was a shortcut to help him quickly increase his soul power. By the way, uncle, take this celestial treasure we found the day before yesterday. You feel like taking it? It's quite safe here, no problem. Afterwards, I'll hide under the tree and absorb the spirit ring. You can go into the cave over there and absorb the celestial treasure. This flower has only one function, and that is to repair a severed finger. Uncle, you'll need to amputate a section of your arm to heal. Then find a piece of left arm bone, and you should be able to return to the titled Douluo realm. Tang San explained the use of the celestial treasure he and Tang Xiao had found the day before yesterday. This place was relatively safe, suitable for both of them to retreat at the same time. After all, the celestial treasure had been picked, and its spiritual power had begun to decline, so it needed to be consumed quickly. And then they happened to come across this 20,000-year-old giant tree of life, so they had to deal with the giant tree first. Okay. Xiao-san, be careful without me to protect you. Tang Xiao followed Tang San's advice and simply regenerated his own severed limb. After all, he didn't believe such a miraculous treasure could have such effects. However, Tang San also claimed that some supposedly immortal herbs could easily alter fate and enhance talent, even bringing the dead back to life and turning bones into flesh. When Tang Xiao asked Tang San where he'd learned this, he said he'd found it in an ancient book, and nothing more. Of course, Tang Xiao believed his nephew. After all, everyone has their chance, including Tang Xiao himself. Seeing Tang San hiding under a tree and absorbing spirit rings, Tang Xiao also entered the small cave. The cave was only a dozen or so steps away, making it easy for Tang Xiao to detect any danger. Although Tang Xiao's cultivation had fallen to the level of a soul Douluo, his mental strength remained intact, and his perception was impeccable. Tang Xiao held out the glowing treasure, and Tang San told him to simply swallow it. He then quickly cut off the healed portion of his severed arm, regenerating the limb. Of course, he needed a piece of his left arm bone to restore it to title Douluo status. Tang Xiao sighed and pulled out a dark left arm bone from his storage soul guide. Its soul power fluctuated wildly, clearly a piece of unabsorbed soul bone, and its age was extremely high. Alice, it seems I'll have to absorb this 94,000-year-old earth-splitting dragon's left arm bone myself. I was originally planning to give it to Xiao-san, but time seems to be running out. I'll find Xiao-san a better one later, Tang Xiao muttered to himself. This dark left arm bone had been dropped while hunting for his 9th soul ring. The earth-splitting dragon was a sub-dragon soul beast with immense power, said to be able to crack the very earth. Tang Xiao, who already possessed the Haoshan sect's inherited left arm bone, was unable to absorb it, intending to leave it to a distinguished disciple or the next sect master. Now that Tang San had appeared, he had thought of giving it to Tang San, but in the end, it was his own. Tang Xiao himself had been gifted with a left arm bone over 70,000 years old by the sect later, after reaching soul sage level and training with Tang Hao to obtain his 8th soul ring. He also acquired a torso bone. Later, after his father, heaven-shattering Douluo Tang Zhen, passed away, he inherited 4 spirit bones over 10,000 years old, which explains his rapid ascent to level 96 in recent years. Tang Xiao's inherent talent was considerable, and with such powerful spirit bones, his cultivation naturally advanced rapidly. Without hesitation, Tang Xiao consumed this celestial treasure. He then used a dagger to completely remove his left arm and affix the spirit bone to the shoulder, creating a complete arm bone that would serve as a replacement. Soon, flesh began to grow on Tang Xiao's left arm, wrapping around the bone. The growth accelerated, and Tang Xiao mobilized his spirit power to rapidly absorb the medicinal benefits. Elsewhere, the Shrek group led by Li Yusong. Director Li, what do you think the Spirit Hall's chances of success are in their plan to destroy the Clear Sky sect? The latest novel is released on the 69th Book Forum. Ninrongrong felt a bit glum the entire way. She had remembered Li Yusong's words. As the legitimate daughter and young master of the second largest sect in the world, she naturally had to consider the sect. Yes, the Clear Sky sect was once the world's #1 sect, so they shouldn't be defeated. I once heard the patriarch say that the Clear Sky sect has a 99 level expert. If he shows up, the Spirit Hall will probably lose. 99? So powerful? Won't the Spirit Hall be in great danger? I think what you say makes sense. The Spirit Hall is in great danger. Li Yusong suddenly frowned and said in a deep voice. I don't understand. Fenghu accent. Why is everyone talking about how powerful the Clear Sky sect is, as if this plan to destroy the Clear Sky sect is doomed to fail for Spirit Hall? Over 20 years ago, the new Pope, Bibidong, succeeded Jin's Unji as Pope. Though young, Bibidong was ruthless, and the Douluo Continent was already divided into 3 parts. Bibidong vigorously supported the welfare of civilian spirit masters, even resorting to force the 2 empires to contribute funds. Deacons from each branch hall traveled across the continent to help the people awaken their spirits. Wherever Spirit Hall was present, the people welcomed them wholeheartedly. They truly had the best timing. I can still vividly recall that vibrant and flourishing state. It's because of her strong support for us civilian spirit masters that we have a chance to rise. Regardless, The two sides have a force strength of Bo 1000, 8002, Ni 1000, 2000, with the advantage going to Spirit Hall. Oh, I think the director has a good idea, Mo Hongjin boasted to Li Luochen. Chapter 254 Lin Haoshan. The Shrek people still believe Li Luochen's words. After all, he was a bit more knowledgeable. So the Haoshan sect is doomed, right? Oscar asked. Of course. Do you know how many tidal Douluo the Spirit Hall dispatched this time? Over 10, and 10 of them have already reached soul power level 95 or higher. While the Clear Sky sect has had a few tidal Douluo over the years, aside from Tang Xiao, who reached soul power level 96 and was crippled by me, their second elder, who boasts the highest soul power, is only level 94. Haha, while they boast 6 tidal Douluo, Tang Xiao is crippled, and the remaining 5 elders are mere ordinary tidal Douluo. They may have the Clear Sky formation, but facing sheer power, it's all for naught. Wrong. Is this what they call the 3 upper sects being united? Your 7 treasures glazed tile sect still only has 2 tidal Douluo, while the Clear Sky sect has quietly grown to 6. And it's still useless. Oh, and by the way, let me tell you a little insider news. His Holiness the Pope has reached limit Douluo level 99, making him unrivaled on the continent. Even I can't defeat him. Do you think the Clear Sky sect has a chance? Li Luochen's words sent shockwaves through the minds of everyone at Shrek Academy. Shrek Academy's rapid growth had initially made the old founders feel elated, but reality dampened their resolve. Only after reaching the rank of tidal Douluo did Flanders realize the magnitude of the gap between these levels. Over the years, his spirit power had soared, reaching level 94. This was due to his 9th spirit ring, a perfect match for his 100,000-year spirit beast, allowing him to cultivate at an incredible pace. However, when he faced Tang Xiao in a one-on-one duel, he would have been at a disadvantage. Tang Hao, slain by Li Luochen, was even more powerful. Tidal Douluos weren't invincible. The fierce battle between Thunder Douluo and Tyrant Douluo was still fresh in his mind. Tidal Douluo was the true watershed. What shocked him most was that even with his level of cultivation, he couldn't fathom the depths of Pope Bidong's power. The feeling of being unfathomable, the feeling of being able to kill him with a single blow was truly terrifying. Now, Li Luochen had personally revealed Bidong's strength, shocking him. After all, he knew Li Luochen's current strength, with a soul power of 97. Aside from Dugubo, he had never seen a tidal Douluo stronger than Li Luochen. Furthermore, Li Luochen's soul ring configuration was at least 100,000 years old. How could he possibly win? Li Luochen himself had said he couldn't defeat Bidong, so one could only imagine how powerful a level 99 ultimate Douluo was. Li Luochen replied, "No, Dean, you misunderstood. It's not that I can't defeat an ultimate Douluo, it's simply that I can't defeat my mother-in-law. She possesses a divine weapon, and she's a cheat. Her Rakshasa side can break my defenses. How can I possibly win?" Ning Rongrong hadn't expected the Haoshan sect to be so well hidden. It was truly unbelievable. She had a new understanding of the Spirit Hall's strength. She decided to return and talk to her father about submitting to the Spirit Hall to save the sect. The Shrek group ended their conversation and began to accelerate, quickly catching up with the Spirit Hall's main force. The Spirit Hall's vast army, comprised entirely of spirit masters above the soul sect level, moved with remarkable speed. Bidong had committed so many men precisely to decisive battle, leaving the Haoshan sect no chance of survival. Sitting in the Pope's sedan chair, Bidong suddenly sensed something and released her spiritual power, sensing a certain spot. She then detected Li Luochen's presence, and then a moment of deception. She knew this young man wouldn't miss such a fight. The pretext for this drama was Jin Zunji and Li Luochen. Jin Zunji was old-fashioned, the incident was already over. Li Luochen's clash with Tang Xiao 3 years prior was the real highlight. Attacking and assassinating a Spirit Hall elder was a serious crime, and committing the assassination in front of the Pope's palace in Spirit City, in front of the current Pope, how could this be tolerated? This provided the perfect pretext for a war, and it wasn't unopposed. For example, a certain Jin Daoliu, who defeated the High Priest, was still recuperating in bed. Li Luochen sensed the Spirit Hall's massive force. The Spirit Hall's tidal Douluo also detected dozens of auras, both strong and weak, and prepared to investigate. Li Luochen produced his own elder token and channeled his soul power into it. The token emanated a powerful light, and a staff-like form emerged. Upon closer inspection, It was Li Luochun's spirit, the sky-lifting divine dragon pillar. This was a specially crafted elder token from the Spirit Hall, a specialized semi-spiritual device used to identify the identities of its elders. Its sole function was to confirm their identities, and only the elders themselves could use it, no one else could. This was a newly released elder token, a joint creation of a blacksmith and an elderly spirit master. With Bibi Dong's approval, production began. Its primary purpose was to discourage Spirit Hall's title Douluo from attacking each other without knowing them. After all, some title Douluo have poor perception and poor intelligence, and are easily prone to accidentally injuring their teammates. With this elder token, fighting between two title Douluo elders while on missions would be avoided. The title Douluo who came to investigate Shrek Academy was Ghost Douluo. After all, his reputation was that he could only see ghostly figures, not spirit rings. This was his defining characteristic. Upon realizing that it was Elder Li Luochun leading the Shrek Academy, Ghost Douluo departed, leaving his own people in a state of shock. Follow the main force's flank. We're here to watch the fun, not to fight. I'm going to see the Pope. Zuir, Yanzi, let's go. Li Luochun led Jinring Su, Du Yan, and their 4 children to the Pope's sedan chair where Bibi Dong was. Bibi Dong's mental power enveloped the entire Spirit Master formation. As long as she could perceive and probe, she could clearly discern every movement within. This was the power of mental power transformed into divine consciousness. Bibi Dong, of course, was aware of the arrival of her daughter, son-in-law, and Du Guyan. After a brief moment of awareness, she instantly woke up and muttered, "How did this kid reach level 97 in spirit power? So fast? From 89 to 97 in 3 years? This, just luck, that bastard has it all," Bibi Dong muttered to herself as Li Luochun and the others arrived. The latest novels are released on the 6ix9ine book forum. Bibi Dong also looked at them. But her attention remained on Li Chengqian and Li Chengru, her grandson and granddaughter, especially Li Chengru, whom she loved dearly. Still, Bibi Dong was pleased that her daughter had reached the title Douluo realm, with a spirit power of 92. Li Luochun's spirit power reached 97, he couldn't be classified as a normal super Douluo. In Bibi Dong's opinion, Li Luochun's aura at that moment was equal to that of 1.5 thousand Dao flows, or 3 golden crocodile Daoluos. By the time Bibi Dong met up with Li Luochun and the others, the Spirit Hall's vanguard had already entered the village at the foot of the Haoshan Sects mountain. Suddenly, several leather-clad men sensed something, summoned their clear sky hammers, and shouted, "Who are you?" With a few slashes, heads fell to the ground, tearing the Haoshan sect disciples' bodies apart. The one who struck was Ziyu, the deputy commander of the vanguard. The actual commander was Ghost Leopard Douluo, but Ziyu was a relative. Although Ziyu had now reached the level of Soul Emperor and a soul power of level 63, his strength was extraordinary. Ghost Leopard Douluo also intended to train him for this incident. After all, he was a genius, and it wasn't just a matter of connections. The most crucial factor was connections. After all, he had a sister, the Saint Midden, now a soul saint. As the deputy commander of this destruction plan, she held the final say until the order of the Grand Commander, King Li Douluo. Even the several title Douluo elders were subject to her orders. Life isn't about fighting and killing, it's about the ways of the world. After killing the menial disciples of Haoshan sect, the vanguard troops were the first to enter the territory of Haoshan sect. Not long after, the mighty team of Wuhan Hall entered Haoshan sect. Chapter 255, Promise I Don't Agree. The mighty Spirit Hall contingent entered the Haoshan sect's territory. This location was not far from Xiandao City, the capital of the Heaven Dao Empire, 300 miles east, and nestled in the mountains. If the elders hadn't noticed any enemy intrusion into the Haoshan sect by this point, they would be fools. Suddenly, 5 figures appeared at the Haoshan sect's mountain entrance. With the exception of the middle-aged man on the far left, the others were elderly. Second brother, who is so audacious as to trespass into the Haoshan sect? Let me go and kill them. The hot-tempered, middle-aged 7th elder prepared to dispatch those who had trespassed. 7th elder, wait. They might be up to no good, and there might be many of them. The sect master isn't here, and they've all come to establish the sect. It might not be that simple. The aged 2nd elder wasn't in a hurry. As Tang Zhen's brother, he naturally valued the sect's affairs above all else. Back then, the old sect master's unparalleled strength had led the Clear Sky sect to its position as the world's foremost sect, forcing even the spirit hall to retreat. The old sect master had been missing for years in pursuit of a breakthrough to the 100th level. The Clear Sky sect was beginning to lose ground to the spirit hall, so for the sake of the sect's continued prosperity, the second elder carefully considered every move. Even though Tang San was the illegitimate offspring of the abandoned disciple Tang Hao and a spirit beast, he possessed twin spirits. The second elder still accepted him, teaching him the Clear Sky Hammer technique, guiding him in social life, and encouraging him to return to his roots. This was his duty as the sect's second elder. A twin spirit held immense potential, and Tang San had every chance of surpassing the old sect master and becoming the new leader leading the sect's rise. As for Tang Xiao, his nephew, he lost his arm and the Clear Sky sect's inherited spirit bone while trying to rescue someone from the spirit hall. He and Tang Hao were both killed. The loss of the 3 inherited spirit bones, each over 70,000 years old, that Tang Chen had harvested was undoubtedly a tremendous loss and a loss of face for the Clear Sky sect. The other elders were originally planning to dethrone Tang Xiao as sect leader, but the second elder insisted, defying all odds, that Tang Xiao remain the sect leader. First, Tang Xiao was young, and although his spirit power had declined to Soul Douluo, he was still formidable. Besides himself, no other elder could match him. Furthermore, Tang Xiao had handled sect affairs with remarkable skill over the years, surpassing even his father, heaven-shaking Douluo. The devastating losses inflicted by the Spirit Hall had been gradually restored over the years, and even more prosperous. Now, someone had intruded through the mountain gates and entered the Haoshan sect, clearly with ill intentions. The second elder had some suspicions, but was unsure. So, if the enemy doesn't move, I won't. Elsewhere, at the foot of the Haoshan sect, the vanguard led by Ziyu had arrived, and the scenery before them was awestruck. Directly before them was a mountain peak. The mountain itself wasn't high, but it was incredibly steep, its walls almost perpendicular to the ground, and its surface was incredibly smooth, devoid of any vegetation. It was a rocky mountain. The vanguard felt a slight startle. The peak before them was over 500 meters high, making it impossible for spirit masters below level 40 to scale. However, as the vanguard, with the exception of Ziyu, a spirit emperor, the others were all soul saints, particularly those specializing in agility attack. Their strength embodied this precarious terrain. But the higher they climbed, the more apprehensive they became. If an attack were launched from the summit, even masters of level 60 or 70 wouldn't be able to reach the summit. This was a truly formidable barrier. Ziyu discovered that this mountain range was quite unique. Most of the peaks were extremely steep, and the gaps between them were formed by streams. Climbing up and down the mountain would undoubtedly be extremely demanding. If defenses were deployed at every peak, they would have to navigate one natural chasm after another. Even if the attackers outnumbered the defenders 10 to 1, they might still not be able to penetrate. The terrain was simply too treacherous. After a short journey, they reached the end of the mountain below. At 500 meters, mist was already swirling. However, at this time, the fog wasn't severe, and a single iron chain could be seen. At the end of this peak, a cable as thick as an arm stretched into the distance. It undoubtedly connected to another peak. The mist was so dense that it was hidden, making it difficult to spot without careful observation. Although the cable swayed in the air, anyone with a certain level of strength and the ability to stabilize their body could easily cross it. Even a level 30 spirit master could do this easily. The rest of the route seemed to repeat itself, only the ravines between the peaks grew deeper. By the time they reached the fourth peak, the cable's condition had begun to change. Due to the cold and humidity, a layer of icy ridges had formed on the cable connecting the fourth and fifth peaks, making it slippery and difficult to move forward. Fortunately, their vanguard consisted of elite soldiers selected by Ghost Leopard Douluo. Even Ziyu, a relative of Ziyu, was incredibly skilled, so this short distance presented no significant challenge to them. But getting a large army up there was extremely difficult, and the Clear Sky Hammer was a top-tier weapon spirit with a wide range, offering a significant advantage. One vanguard had already returned to report to the Pope, allowing him to make a decision. Ziyu and the others continued their advance, stopping at the fourth peak, just a chain away from the summit. They needed to wait for the main force, as they had sensed an extremely powerful aura. It was a tidal Douluo. Ghost Leopard Douluo also appeared in the group, sensing the powerful presence ahead. Intelligence reports indicate that the Clear Sky sect possesses 7 titled Daoluos, and that Clear Sky Daoluo Tang Hao had been slain by Elder Li Luochen. Elder Li Luochen had also crippled an arm of Roaring Sky Daoluo Tang Xiao, forfeiting his soul Daoluo status for life. This left 5 titled Daoluos. The latest novels are available on the 6th-9th book bar. But Ghost Leopard Daoluo was unfazed. Through the Cheyenne Dao Stealing Nation mission, he had obtained a 10,000-year soul bone perfectly suited to him, and his soul power had broken through to level 96. Anyone who wished to capture him would have to reach level 98, otherwise, he would be impossible. This was the confidence of a super agility type Daoluo. Come out. I've spotted you. Ghost Leopard Daoluo pointed his gaze towards a specific location and barked coldly. Where did you, titled Daoluo, come from? You dare to barge through the gates of the Haoshan sect with a few shrewd generals. Are you trying to test the strength of my Haoshan sect? The 7th elder shouted. A lack of strength mattered, momentum was paramount. Does my spirit hall need to rely on your Haoshan sect's wishes? And this time, we're here to cause trouble for your Haoshan sect. Ghost Leopard Daoluo shouted coldly, and his spiritual soul, the Void Ghost Leopard, emerged. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black soul rings emerged, unleashing a burst of level 96 soul power, pressing down upon the 7th elder. The 7th elder felt the pressure mount, a cold sweat pouring down his face, but he remained determined not to lose. You, Spirit Hall, won't you keep your promise from that time? Ghost Leopard Daoluo laughed upon hearing this. Ho ha ho ha. Promises? I don't believe in any promises. The person who made that promise has been defeated by His Holiness the Pope. Now there is only one person in charge in Spirit Hall, and that is His Holiness the Pope. Several Clear Sky sect elders' faces turned pale. The promise was made after the battle between Clear Sky Daoluo Tang Chen and Angel Daoluo Jin Daoliu. Jin Daoliu lost to Tang Chen and promised that no Spirit Hall member would be allowed to enter the Clear Sky sect until he could defeat Tang Chen. That old man, Jin Daoliu, was truly useless, having been sidelined by a young girl. Several Clear Sky sect elders were still stuck on the news from years ago. They only knew that Jin's Unji's female disciple had taken the position. Her strength was unknown, but she was young. Chapter 256 Haoshan Destruction 1. In response to Ghost Leopard Daoluo's words, several titled Daoluo elders were eager to kill him on the spot. With the advantages of terrain and the Clear Sky formation, it wasn't impossible to kill a level 96 Super Daoluo. With a 2nd elder, the strongest, presiding over the formation, they should have been able to kill him, but Ghost Leopard Daoluo was clearly an agility type Super Daoluo, with a speed advantage. While the Clear Sky Hammer was powerful, it was still slow. While the 9 Clear Sky techniques included a sealing technique specifically designed to counter agility types, it only served to target lesser spirit masters. Against a level 96 agility type Super Daoluo, their sealing techniques were unlikely to be enough. As Ghost Leopard Daoluo and the 5 Clear Sky elders confronted each other, a spirit sage from the vanguard arrived at Bibi Dong's chariot to report. Your Holiness, the terrain in front of the Haoshan sect's mountain gate is extremely difficult. Access is limited to a few steel cables, making it impossible for our Spirit Master team to advance quickly. Your Holiness, please provide instructions. The Spirit Saint knelt on one knee before Bibi Dong and reported the intelligence their vanguard had uncovered. Tisk, they really chose a great location. They've even considered these considerations, leaving themselves a backup plan. Unfortunately, they encountered me. Pass on my orders. Wingod Daoluo and Spirit Kite Daoluo lead the Wind Sword sect and the Sparrow Bee sect to clear a path to prevent the Haoshan sect from attacking our forces from above. The water-attributed and ice-attributed Spirit Masters in the team will work together to build a massive ice bridge to allow the Spirit Master team to ascend the mountain quickly. Yes, Bibi Dong's single command instantly broke the seemingly impossible path up the mountain. While the Haoshan sect's route might be difficult for other sects, it wasn't for the Spirit Hall. You know, it wasn't just the Spirit Hall's members who came this time. Spirit Hall's lackeys, no, their loyal subordinates, the lower 4 sects and other sects all came to help overthrow the Clear Sky sect. It's easy to imagine how much the Clear Sky sect had offended people back then. The Spirit Hall's 8,000 Spirit Masters began changing formations. The vanguard used water to create water steps, while the ice-attributed Spirit Masters in the back froze the water bridges into ice. Unfortunately, The spirit hall didn't have many ice and water spirit masters, not as formidable as the water-attributed masters at Xianshu Academy, but they were enough. Lingyun Douluo, riding on the fiery spirit kite, flew towards the clear sky sect's mountain gate, followed by members from the Wind Sword sect and the Sparrow Bee sect. This battle is truly thrilling, Lingyun Douluo chuckled. To her side stood the aloof Yu Xianshang. This time, the couple would help Ghost Leopard Douluo to hold back the Clear Sky sect's influence on the Spirit Master group. This mission was crucial, but for Ghost Leopard Douluo, who possessed the strength of level 96, Yu Xianshang, also level 96, and Spirit Kite Douluo, level 94, it presented no significant challenge. The leaders of the Wind Sword sect, Feng Bailong, and the Sparrow Bee sect, were both extremely powerful soul Douluos. The Wind Sword sect excelled at formation attacks, while the Sparrow Bee sect focused on containment. Such a team was sufficient to hold back the Haoshan sect's main force and delay the attack. Meanwhile, at the Haoshan sect's mountain gate, Ghost Leopard Douluo and the 5 Haoshan elders were facing off, while the Haoshan sect's elite disciples began to gather. The third-generation disciples were led by Tang Long and Tang Hu, while the second-generation disciples were led by veteran soul Douluos. Ghost Leopard Douluo surveyed the Haoshan sect's disciples and was somewhat alarmed. The Haoshan sect's core strength was so formidable, with dozens of soul Douluos, dozens of soul sages, and even more soul emperors. 5 title Douluos had appeared. The war between Spirit Hall and Clear Sky sect had clearly significantly weakened the Clear Sky sect, yet somehow they had recovered so quickly and even reached new heights. Ghost Leopard Douluo understood why the Clear Sky sect needed to be destroyed. Ever since their seclusion, this sect had languished in obscurity, yet their primary priority had always been to destroy Spirit Hall. It looked like a river of blood would flow across Clear Sky Mountain today. 2 crisp bird calls echoed through the sky. Ghost Leopard Douluo turned to see 2 enormous birds, one blue and one red, rapidly approaching. Behind them were hundreds of men from the Wind Sword sect and the Sparrow Bee sect. Elder Ghost Leopard, Ling Yuan and I are here to help you, Yu Xianshang chuckled, his hands itching to stab him. Haha, the 2 elders arrived just in time. Why waste time talking to them? 6th soul skill, Netherworld Cold Light, 8th soul skill, Blood Boils, 8th soul skill, Wind like a sword slashes the sky. Ghost Leopard Douluo, Yu Xianshang, and Spirit Kite Douluo all unleashed their own soul skills to attack the 5 Haoshan elders. No. Haoshan protect, the elders' Haoshan hammers unleashed several shields, barely blocking the attack. Damn it. The Spirit Hall thieves actually attacked us by surprise. Second brother, let's use the Haoshan formation to teach them a lesson. We've already reached the mountain gate, and they're still hesitating. The 7th elder was furious. After all, there were only 3 title Douluo, and the Haoshan formation of the 5 elders was no small feat. Alright. Everyone, set up the Haoshan formation. The 5 Haoshan sect elders immediately deployed their unique Haoshan sect formation. Spirit Hall. Take this. Hammer the heavens and earth. The 5 elders merged their soul power and used the formation to unleash a massive hammer shadow, using the 2nd elder's clear sky hammer as a medium. The massive hammer shadow smashed down towards the 3 title Douluo. Tisk, 2 elders, channel your soul power to me. The latest novel is released on the 69th book forum. Wind God Douluo Yu Xianshang's soul rings emerged, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red. 100,000-year soul rings. The 5 clear sky elders were astonished, having never expected the youngest title Douluo to be so powerful. Great, X2, the fiery spirit kite behind Spirit Kite Douluo released 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black soul rings, channeling the energy of 9 soul rings to Yu Xianshang. Ghost Leopard Douluo did the same, and a void ghost leopard emerged from behind him, channeling the energy of 9 soul rings to Yu Xianshang. Yu Xianshang sensed the soul power of the 2 title Douluos, and his 9th soul ring shone. 9th soul skill. Hurricane slash of spatial slicing. Yu Xianshang gathered a science slash in both hands and slashed at the giant hammer shadow. Boom. A massive explosion, accompanied by a powerful storm, forced the members of the Haoshan sect and the Spirit Hall to withstand the strong wind. Soul Hall, attack the Haoshan sect members. The title Douluos were all engaged, and now it was Feng Bailong, the leader of the Wind Sword sect, who was temporarily commanding the scene. Kill, Ziyu and the other vanguard troops, along with the 2 sects, began to charge towards the Haoshan sect members. However, Ziyu was restrained by the leader of the Quefeng sect, who told him to calm down. Your Highness Ziyu, calm down. Go back first. You're only a sole emperor at this point, so you won't be of much use here. You can sense Her Highness the Saint. With the fusion of your and Her Highness's spirits, your strength rivals that of a high-level soul Douluo, far superior to charging into battle at your current soul emperor level. Hurry and find Her Highness the Saint. The Quefeng sect leader's words calmed Ziyu. Looking back at the battlefield, he knew he could only return to find his sister. Watching Ziyu leave, the Quefeng sect leader sighed softly. Finally, we've managed to trick Her Highness back. If anything happens to Her Highness the Saint's brother here, it's our responsibility to protect her from future popes. It's best to befriend her. Her Highness the Saint will surely remember this favor. This is the advantage of connections. Even if they don't speak up, someone will open a back door for you. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 Haoshan Destruction 2. After Ziyu left, the two sects engaged in a fierce battle with the elite disciples of the Haoshan sect. The Fengjin sect's specialty was formation attacks. Wind and Thunder Sword formation, it could be performed individually or with the combined might of the entire sect, controlled by sect master Feng Bailong. It harnessed the power of the storm and thunder to condense soul energy into a massive sword. Feng Bailong wielded the sword and charged towards the Haoshan sect's position. Quick! Haoshan formation, shouted the second elder's son, a soul Douluo. The soul sages and soul emperors around him reacted quickly, deploying the Haoshan formation to counter the wind and thunder sword formation. Meanwhile, in the sky, the clash between the Haoshan 5 elders and the Spirit Hall's 3 elders concluded. With the Spirit Hall boasting 2 beings with soul powers reaching level 95, including Yu Xian Sheng, a super Douluo possessing 100,000-year spirit ring, the Spirit Hall's strength was unparalleled, their soul power far superior to the Haoshan 5 elders. Of the Haoshan 5 elders, only the second elder had reached level 94. While he saw the path to level 95, he knew his limit might be there. The third, fifth, and sixth elders all had spirit powers at level 93. The seventh elder, Fiery Sun Douluo, had a spirit power of level 91. The Haoshan 5 elders were clearly weaker. A level 97 super Douluo could easily overpower 4 ordinary title Douluos. Although Yu Xian Shang was only level 96, he possessed a 100,000-year spirit ring, making his combat power no less than level 97. Ghost Leopard Douluo, at level 96, could easily overpower 2 title Douluos with spirit powers below level 95. Ling Yuan, leave these old guys to me and Ghost Leopard. Go help those from the 4 sects. After all, they're our Spirit Hall's helpers. We can't let them suffer serious damage. Yu Xian Shang had regained his composure. The previous encounter had given him a clearer sense of the opposing 5's combat power. So he decided to let him and Ghost Leopard Douluo hold off the Clear Sky sect elders, while Spirit Kite Douluo, the level 94 title Douluo, would join the battlefield below to relieve some of the pressure on the disciples of the 4 lower sects. Alright. Xian Shang, be careful. Spirit Kite Douluo gazed at Yu Xian Shang with affection, demonstrating to Ghost Leopard Douluo what it meant to be able to enjoy dog food even in a fight. Don't even think about it, the second elder roared, but was instantly stopped by Yu Xian Shang's wind. Yu Xian Shang then used his wind field to encircle the second, third, and fifth elders, intending to hold off the 3 title Douluos alone. Ghost Leopard Douluo should have no problem holding off the level 93 sixth elder and the level 91 seventh elder. With his speed, he should be able to defeat them both. He was more than capable of dealing with the other 3, even if they used the so-called Clear Sky formation, he wasn't afraid. Spirit Kite Douluo descended directly onto the battlefield below, hovering in the air on his fiery spirit kite. The members of the Clear Sky sect below watched as a title Douluo broke away from the elders' battleground and rushed towards them. The sudden appearance of a title Douluo on the enemy side instilled a certain degree of fear in the members. Hey! Fear truly makes my blood boil. 8th soul skill, blood boils. Spirit Kite Douluo sensed the fear of the Clear Sky sect members below and chuckled softly. A crimson feather suddenly appeared in her hand, which she grasped. The fiery spirit kite beneath her feet suddenly released a stream of crimson feathers, which then rained down, transforming into a rain of fire. Upon landing on a member of the Clear Sky sect, the rain instantly ignited them. One soul sect member, at the Soul Emperor level, was reduced to a skeleton in mere seconds. Those above the Soul Emperor level could still manage to resist with their soul power, but the flame seemed inextinguishable, clinging to their bodies and continuously burning them. Great opportunity. Wind sword formation. Wind pressure sword formation. Feng Bailong summoned the entire sect's might, unleashing a powerful force that could split into several wind swords for a group attack, harnessing the immense pressure of the wind. Wind fueled the fire, and fire fueled the wind. The flames affixed to the Haoshan sect's disciples were instantly inflated by the wind sword sect's wind pressure sword formation. Having to withstand the blazing flames and the countless wind swords their clear sky hammers wielded, the Haoshan sect's situation became precarious. Both sects had the upper hand, but their advantage was short-lived as the gates of the Haoshan sect flew open. A group of nearly 1,000 men burst forth, each clutching the clear sky hammer. The number of spirit rings was astonishing, some boasting 2 yellow spirit rings, while others boasted 8 spirit rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black. Fellow clansmen, our sect faces its final moment of doom and demise. Use our clear sky hammers to repel them. Show them what it means to possess the greatest weapon spirit in the world, an elderly soul Douluo shouted towards the spirit hall, instantly boosting the morale of the clear sky sect. Proud battle soul hammer. Mighty clear sky sect, proud battle soul hammer, mighty clear sky sect. XN, the latest novels are released on the 69th book forum. The two sects had never seen such a spectacle before. With thousands of clear sky hammers swirling before them, even Feng Bailong was a little nervous. They were too few in number, with only 50 in the vanguard and fewer than 500 in the two sects. Facing an enemy twice that number, and one armed with a clear sky hammer spirit, it was a real challenge. Haha, the proud war soul hammer? The mighty Haoshan sect? I'd like to see if your strength truly lives up to this title. A cold, stern female voice suddenly echoed through the Haoshan mountains, interrupting even the fiercely engaged Haoshan elders. Knowing the main force had arrived, Yushiansheng and Ghost Leopard Douluo retreated. Their mission complete, the rest was up to the main force, they could just sit back and relax. A magnificent chariot was carried aloft by several white-armored earth dragons and diamond mammoths. Surrounding it were thousands of spirit masters, roughly 6,000 at a glance. This is foreshadowing. It's not that the author forgot how many had arrived. Just as the papal chariot landed on the mountain peak, dozens of streams of light suddenly appeared before it. They were uniformly clad in the red robes of the spirit hall's highest honor. Each wore armor corresponding to their spirit, such as Ju Douluo's gold armor and Ghost Douluo's black armor. The Haoshan sect's second elder was astonished by the arrival of these newcomers. Ju Douluo, Ghost Douluo, Demon Bear Douluo, Ghost Leopard Douluo, all of you old guys are here. As well as a female title Douluo and a male title Douluo, the spirit hall is really powerful. And King Li Douluo, Xiongxi Douluo, Guangling Douluo, Qianjin Douluo, and Jiangmo Douluo, why are you old secluded guys showing up in our Haoshan mountain? Have you forgotten the promise made by Jin Daoliu and our old sect master? Don't you have any credibility in the spirit hall? The spirit hall side sneered at the questioning of the second elder, and even wanted to laugh. Ha 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 ha. When did the Clear Sky sect start talking nonsense? That old man Jin Daoliu didn't break his promise. He definitely didn't come to the Clear Sky sect. As for the spirit hall lineage being barred from entering? Haha, Jin Daoliu is no longer the spirit hall's chief priest. He doesn't represent the spirit hall. I am the current head of the spirit hall. Bibidong rose from the teaching chair, using her powerful soul power to transmit her voice to every corner of Clear Sky Mountain. 9 soul rings appeared on her body simultaneously, black, 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 red, 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 red. 5 black and 4 red soul rings appeared, shocking everyone in the Clear Sky sect. Chapter 258 Haoshan Destruction 3. Bibidong's imposing presence instantly extinguished the Haoshan sect's fierce momentum. 5 black, 4 red, 400,000 year spirit rings, how could they possibly defeat them? The ultimate Douluo power Bibidong wielded immediately robbed the Haoshan sect of their will to fight, their hands gripping the clear sky hammer trembling. Your Holiness, why are you attacking our Haoshan sect? There must be a reason. One of the Haotian sect's elders said naively. The other titled Dalos all thought him a complete idiot. What do you need to attack you for? Haha, since you asked sincerely, I will mercifully tell you. You, the abandoned disciple of a Haotian sect, attacked the elder of my spirit hall and was killed in return. Secondly, Tang Zio, the leader of the Haotian sect, assassinated the elder of my spirit hall in front of the Pope's palace. Tang Sen, a disciple of a Haotian sect, has seriously injured and disabled his opponents many times in the all-continental advanced spirit master elite competition. His condition was terrible. Even after 3 fingers were cut off, he still did not repent. Are these reasons enough? Bibi Dong sneered. Now the spirit hall's large group has successfully reached the summit. The vanguard troops and the people from the Wind Sword sect and the Sparrow Bee sect have done a good job. They will be rewarded greatly when they return. Damn it. It's Tang Hao again. Why is it that things related to Tang Hao always make my Haotian sect fall into disgrace? Now we are even attacked at the gate. Damn it, the 7th elder was furious when he heard it. It was something related to Tang Hao again that caused damage to the Haotian sect then, Your Holiness, could the Clear Sky sect offer compensation to the Spirit Hall, and would you withdraw your troops? The 2nd elder said. He truly didn't want to fight. The Spirit Hall had brought enough men to annihilate the Clear Sky sect. What was he supposed to do? Haha, that's a nice thought. I've come here with so many men, and you expect me to withdraw with a simple compensation? How could such a good offer be possible? And does the Clear Sky sect have anything to offer in compensation? Spirit Hall members, listen to my command. Kill. Bibi Dong's eyes narrowed, and she pointed the Pope's staff at the Clear Sky sect members, issuing a command. Kill. Upon hearing Bibi Dong's command, the Spirit Hall spirit masters erupted, thousands charging directly towards the Clear Sky sect's position. The 5 Clear Sky elders attempted to rescue them, but were immediately blocked by the Spirit Hall's title Douluo. Ho-ha, where are you going? 5th soul skill, gathering of frosty flowers, clad in golden armor, Zhu Douluo transformed the petals of the strange velvet chrysanthemum into a vast blade and slashed at the 5 Haotian elders. The 5 Haotian elders used their Clear Sky hammer to block the blow, but discovered that the blade formed from the plant was incredibly strong. Even the Clear Sky hammer couldn't break it. Zhu Douluo also had good fortune. He had cultivated for a long time within the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, and personally nurtured the young strange velvet chrysanthemum, sparing no expense in cultivating it with his own treasures. Just 6 months ago, the strange velvet chrysanthemum matured and was consumed by Zhu Douluo, who then cultivated a truly indestructible body. The immortal strange velvet chrysanthemum complemented the deficiencies of his own martial spirit. Zhu Douluo's future cultivation would be smooth sailing. Not only could the Clear Sky hammers of the Haotian sect elders not break the strange velvet chrysanthemum, even Tang Hao, alive, could break it. Ha, let me have some fun too. I wonder if your Clear Sky hammers are any better than my coiled dragon staff. The warmongering demon subduer Douluo charged directly into the battlefield. He had long since resented the Clear Sky hammer's status as the world's greatest weapon spirit. It was a shame Tang Chen had appeared. He was no match for Tang Chen. He admitted that if Tang Chen alone were the world's greatest weapon spirit, he, the demon subduer Douluo, would be convinced. But these guys wanted that position too. He refused to accept it. Their Gu family's coiled dragon staff technique was no pushover. 8th soul skill, demon subduing coiled dragon circle. The coiled dragon staff in the demon subduer Douluo's hand transformed into a giant red dragon, charging towards the 5 elders of the Clear Sky sect. The titled Douluo elders of the Spirit Hall had all joined the fray, while the worshippers, with the exception of Tyrant Douluo, were eager to join the fray. The rest of the worshippers, save for Tyrant Douluo, were watching from above Clear Sky Mountain. As the commander-in-chief, King Li Douluo naturally had to consider the overall situation, but the battle was lopsided. The 4 lower sects, the Holy Dragon sect, the Elephant Armor sect, the Wind Sword sect, and the Fire Leopard sect, were slaughtering Haotianzong disciples en masse. As the 4 lower sects, they had long since rejected the Haotianzong. Previously, the Haotianzong, as one of the 3 upper sects, had always looked down on them, using both verbal humiliation and physical bullying. Now, it was time for revenge. Not only the 4 lower sects, but also larger sects like the Sparrow Bee sect and the Rock Antelope sect were slaughtering Haotianzong disciples, killing far more than even the Spirit Hall's direct subordinates. After all, they were already Spirit Hall members. This time, destroying the Heao Xianzong and slaughtering so many of its disciples was a token of their loyalty. How could they not be serious? The Spirit Hall's lineages were also shocked. These sects were truly ruthless, killing so many. Did they see Huyan's Hun and Tuobazai, their eyes bloodied with rage, their bodies covered in the blood of Heao Xianzong disciples? The Spirit Hall's direct lineage was told that all they had to do was kill a Clear Sky sect disciple, even assisting in a kill, and receive rewards from the Pope. These included gold soul coins, soul guides, gems, treasures, and even soul bones. This was Bibi Dong's favor to the Spirit Hall lineage. As for the other sects, Bibi Dong only granted them the right to be re-elected by the 7 major sects, a mere title. The latest novel is being released on the 69th book bar. The situation on the battlefield below is currently 6-1, the Spirit Hall has 6, while the Clear Sky sect has 1. It's a pure crushing victory. Furthermore, the Spirit Hall's titled Douluo elders are watching closely. Spirit Kite Douluo roams the battlefield below, with a fiery spirit kite providing the most beautiful scenery. Demon Bear Douluo and Ghost Leopard Douluo are also watching the battle. As for the 5 elders of the Clear Sky sect, a fierce battle ensued between Wind God Douluo Yishai and Sheng, Chrysanthemum Douluo Yuwen, Ghost Douluo Gimei, and Demon Subduing Douluo. While the ferocious battle was in reality a playful display of the Spirit Hall's toy with the Clear Sky sect elders, with Chrysanthemum Douluo's plant-based broadsword severing one elder's arm. Li Luchen, standing behind Bibi Dong, watched the Clear Sky sect's demise. This was a grave matter, there would likely be no Clear Sky Hammer spirit left. The Clear Sky sect elders were desperately trying to stall for time. The moment the main force of disciples emerged, it would be time for the women, children, and the elderly to evacuate. The longer they delayed, the safer they would be. Unfortunately, Li Luchen had predicted their predictions. He told Bibi Dong that the Clear Sky sect must have a secret escape route. Bibi Dong, convinced, immediately ordered Tyrant Douluo Long Zhenshin to lead 2,000 spirit masters to the rear of Clear Sky Mountain to intercept the remaining Clear Sky sect members. Long Zhenshin, a level 95 super Douluo, is enough, and with 2,000 elite spirit masters, he's more than enough to wipe out the remaining evildoers. Li Luchen has always believed in eradicating the roots. So, the Haoshan sect should completely disappear. Chapter 259 Haoshan Destruction 4. At the rear of the Haoshan sect, a middle-aged man led several others, leading the way. Behind them came a group of elderly people, women, and children, all members of the Haoshan sect. This passage leading to the rear was an escape route created by the Haoshan sect after they retreated to this ancestral land. From here, a few days' journey would lead to coastal city, where they could purchase a ship and escape overseas. This was the escape route devised by Tang Xiao and several elders, especially Tang Xiao himself. Surrounded by high mountains and forests, it was sparsely populated and difficult to detect. In a life-or-death situation for the sect, this path truly preserved the flame of life. The sect master, elders, and direct disciples should strive to buy time and increase their chances of survival. Woo woo woo, our home is gone, our sect is gone, damn Spirit Hall, mother, why is Spirit Hall destroying our home, Spirit Hall? When I grow up, I will emulate my ancestors Tang Chen and Uncle Hao and crush the Spirit Hall with my Clear Sky Hammer. I support you, add me too, alright. You are the spark of the Clear Sky sect, it's hope. The elders and your fathers chose to remain behind to protect you. Don't let their sacrifices be in vain, the leading middle-aged soul Douluo said earnestly. Since you don't want their sacrifices to be in vain, just accompany them, a cold voice echoed through the mountains behind. The sky suddenly turned into a dark cloud, and a massive black dragon descended from the sky, eventually transforming into an old man with white hair and beard. 2,000 spirit masters soon arrived. They had just arrived. His Holiness, with his extraordinary wisdom, had long anticipated the Haoshan sect's secret passage. Furthermore, there could only be one secret passage, given the sheer number of members. Even if one large group left, the leading spirit master could still provide adequate protection. If they had split into several groups, the protection would have been diminished, and the Haoshan sect's brawny brains probably hadn't thought that far ahead. Their ability to escape through the secret passage was impressive. Could they possibly employ some kind of deceptive scheme? Tang Wei, the middle-aged leader of the Haoshan sect, was the second son of the second elder. He had just reached the Soul Douluo level at 48 years old and held the hope of achieving title Douluo status before the age of 65. The second elder had tasked him with protecting the elderly, the weak, and the disabled, arguing that Tang Wei, a Soul Douluo, was fearless as long as he didn't encounter a title Douluo, and could protect the clan. The second reason was to ensure his own descendants would not be extinct. As the second elder, currently the chief elder, he knew he would survive the sect, and if the sect perished, he would not be the only one left alive. So the second elder left his second son with the hope of survival. Unfortunately, however, their group encountered Tyrant Douluo, whose tyrant demon dragon martial spirit possessed the bloodline of the Dark Holy Dragon. Tyrant Douluo had previously defeated Thunder Douluo Yu Yuansun head-on, his power unfathomable. Few soul masters could rival him. Even Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Leopard Douluo, whose soul powers had risen to level 96, were no match for Tyrant Douluo. Even among the priests, save for those at level 97. No other priest could defeat Tyrant Douluo. This was the power of a top-tier dragon beast spirit. "Who are you, sir? Why are you leading men to block our path?" Tang Wei was still about to ask, even though he had already guessed who the newcomer was. Spirit Hall, 9th Honored One, Tyrant Douluo Long Zhenshin. Long Zhenshin's voice seemed quiet, but it was actually deafening, like a dragon's roar. Even the weaker members of the Clear Sky sect were stunned, bleeding from all 7 orifices and fainting. Damn it! Spirit Avatar. 8th Spirit Skill, Sky High Strike. Tang Wei, seeing he and his clansmen had no way out, decided to fight tooth and nail. He unleashed his Spirit Avatar, wielding the massive Clear Sky Hammer. Hell, an egg against a rock. Black Dragon World Destroying Claw. Long Zhenshin's right hand suddenly transformed into pitch-black dragon claw. The claw suddenly expanded and grabbed Tang Wei, grasping him in its grip like a chicken. With just 8 spirit rings, why seek your own destruction? Long Zhenshin said, then exerted force with his right hand, turning Tang Wei into a bloody mist. Spirit Hall members. Kill. After dispatching Tang Wei, Long Zhenshin ordered the Spirit Hall's spirit masters to completely eliminate these members of the Clear Sky sect. 4th Soul Skill, Bone Prison. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Countless bones suddenly sprouted from the ground where the Haoshan clan members were standing, transforming the remaining Haoshan clan members into bloody mist and skewers. Huh? Bone Douluo? Long Zhenshin was puzzled. Why would the Bone Douluo of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile clan take action? 8th Soul Skill, Dragon Soaring Sky Thunder Explosion. A giant blue-purple dragon suddenly rushed towards the remaining Haoshan clan members. It reached the area where the Haoshan clan members were most concentrated, and its center blossomed and exploded. Author, Art is Explosion, Patrick Starr. Yuluomian? Haha, it seems the 3 sects' shared ties of kinship were just talk. I never thought you'd be the ones to attack the Haoshan sect in its most difficult time, Long Zhenshin sneered. He knew too much about the dirty deeds of these sects, but he hadn't expected Ningfengzi and Yuluomian to be so decisive. It was truly interesting. Meanwhile, on a hilltop within the Haoshan sect, Ningfengzi and Jian Douluo stood together. Fengzi, I don't understand why you're trying to jeopardize the Haoshan sect. Even if we wanted the Haoshan sect to step down, we could have stayed out of it completely. But why are we going to have to deal with these Haoshan sect remnants? Jian Douluo couldn't understand why Ningfengzi was acting this way. He was a swordsman, not one for twists and turns. He had always considered himself the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect's sharpest sword. And yet, Ningfengzi told him in Old Bone that they were going to deal with the Haoshan sect's escape remnants. Jian Douluo didn't understand, but Bone Douluo nodded and took action. As partners for many years, although Jian Douluo consistently outshined Bone Douluo in strength, even reaching the 97th level of enlightenment while Bone Douluo remained stuck at 95, Ningfengzi considered Bone Douluo the best at addressing the sect's potential risks. Ningfengzi considered his 2 uncles to be the outwardly responsible and the inwardly responsible. Jian Douluo maintained a positive image, while Bone Douluo handled the dirty work. Bone Douluo and Ningfengzi shared a strong rapport, having vanquished countless mortal enemies on his behalf. This time, Bone Douluo acted without hesitation when confronting the Clear Sky sect. If the Clear Sky sect were at its peak, the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect would have prioritized friendship, but with its collapse, Ningfengzi needed to find new allies. Now that only the Spirit Hall remained, The Clear Sky sect was effectively a token of loyalty. As for Yu Luomian, he had simply come to join in the fun. He had just seen some spirit hall spirit masters being taken away by a tidal Douluo on the way, so he came to take a look. But when he saw this scene, he decided not to take action, but to come and watch. Besides, Yu Luomian was also an elder of the spirit hall, and it was his duty to eliminate the enemy, the Clear Sky sect. Chapter 260 Haoshan is destroyed, the end. After the 7 treasures glazed tile sect and the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus clan were defeated, the entire Clear Sky sect was annihilated, women, children, and the elderly. Tyrant Douluo was even somewhat shocked by the brutality of the 2 sects. Yu Luomian and Bone Douluo were covered in the blood of Clear Sky sect members. They were truly killers. However, the Spirit Hall members were not idle either, directly retrieving the storage soul guides from the corpses of the Clear Sky sect members. These people had fled and must have taken the vast majority of the Clear Sky sect's supplies. Soon, the Spirit Hall members were carrying numerous storage soul guides, including bracelets, rings, and more. Not a single Clear Sky sect member who had fled was alive. After a fierce battle at the Clear Sky sect's mountain gate, countless of the sect's direct disciples had perished, leaving only a few dozen struggling to hold on. As the Spirit Hall gathered around them, they, too, were exhausted, their soul power and strength depleted, unable to even wield the Clear Sky hammer. As for the tidal Douluo battlefield, all 5 elders of the Clear Sky sect were slain, dropping a slew of spirit bones. The second elder dropped 4 10,000-year spirit bones, the third, 5th, and 6th elders 3, and the 7th elder 2. A total of 15 10,000-year spirit bones were harvested, while Spirit Kite Douluo and Ghost Leopard Douluo also harvested nearly 10, all from veteran Clear Sky Hammer Soul Douluos. It's undeniable that the Clear Sky sect's heritage is truly formidable. Back then, the Clear Sky sect annihilated numerous weapon spirit families, so naturally, they reaped a bounty. Furthermore, the Clear Sky sect's members deeply enjoy slaughtering spirit beasts en masse to obtain spirit bones, resulting in a vast reserve second only to the Spirit Hall. The Spirit Hall's spirit bones are the legacy of past tidal Douluo elders, left behind as a legacy. After all these years, the Spirit Hall must possess over 1,000 tidal Douluo, naturally possessing an immense supply of spirit bones. Yet, the Haoshan sect has only been around for so long, yet it possesses so many soul bones? Truly, Li Luochen wasn't sure how to react. The Spirit Hall has a rule prohibiting the reckless killing of soul beasts unless it's necessary to break through a bottleneck. Violators face capital punishment. The Spirit Hall's academic masters have long understood that endless hunting of soul beasts will eventually lead to their extinction, so for the sake of sustainable development, mass slaughter is crucial. Furthermore, the Spirit Hall's founder, the Angel God, has documented that the Star Dou Great Forest possesses a soul beast master, powerful enough to devastate Douluo Continent. Even if that master doesn't intervene, he possesses a group of ferocious beasts far more powerful than 100,000-year-old soul beasts. A beast tide from them would devastate the civilians of the continent. Therefore, the Spirit Hall is located next to the Star Dou Great Forest, its closest point. Successive Angel God High Priests, besides cultivating their successors, have been constantly prepared to prevent these ferocious beasts from unleashing a beast tide. So, the Haoshan sect is truly a cancer in the Soul Master world, slaughtering high-level soul beasts en masse, causing a severe shortage of 10,000-year soul beasts. They maliciously exacerbate the conflict between soul beasts and humans, forcing the ferocious beasts to unleash a beast tide that devastates the world. Furthermore, the Haoshan sect is extremely prone to bullying the weak, attacking the younger and then the older, completely unjust. The destruction of such a sect brought great joy to many families in the Soul Master world. In a matter of moments, the Haoshan sect's last remaining resistance was destroyed, and Bibidong was very satisfied with the outcome of this battle. While the Spirit Hall's casualties were low, there were many injuries. After all, the Haoshan hammer is the Haoshan hammer, and its power is formidable. Although the Spirit Hall had tidal Douluo supervising the battle, there would inevitably be some casualties. But in Bibidong's view, these casualties were a significant win against the entire Haoshan sect. Your Majesty, the tidal Douluo elders came before Bibidong and presented their soul bones. Excellent. Bibidong took the spirit bone in her hands, examined it carefully, and then looked at the other tidal Douluo. You all have made great contributions in destroying the Clear Sky sect. This Pope will now begin the rewards. I will reward His Majesty Chrysanthemum Douluo with a torso bone. I will reward His Majesty Ghost Douluo with a left leg bone. I will reward His Majesty Spirit Kite Douluo with a right leg bone. I will reward Ghost Leopard Douluo with a left leg bone, and Human Bear Douluo with a torso bone. For those below the Soul Douluo level, please return to Spirit City and be rewarded one by one. Also, for the other Spirit Master families, Spirit City will hold a re-election meeting for the 7 major sects 1 year from now. At that time, our Spirit Hall will reshuffle the 7 major sects. Those interested can register in 6 months. Bibidong dropped a bombshell on the Clear Sky Mountains. Not only would she personally reward the title Douluo Elders, but every member of Spirit Hall who participated in the destruction operation would also receive a reward. And even more so, right after the Clear Sky sect was destroyed, the Pope was re-electing the 7 major sects. It seems the destruction of the Haoshan sect has long been part of the Pope's plan. Bibidong's tactics were truly shrewd. She directly rewarded the elders with the soul bones she had harvested, thus strengthening their loyalty. As for the offerings, Bibidong paid them no mind. Their wealth was considerable, and she had no interest in giving them anything, save for the fact that subduing Demon Douluo had killed a title Douluo. The latest novel will be released on the 69th book bar. The others were merely there for the show, not taking any action. For example, Guangling Douluo slept during such an important occasion. So, Bibidong still rewarded the elders with soul bones. After all, these elders were her true subordinates. Juji Ui Douluo had followed her for so long, so of course he deserved the best rewards. For example, the torso bone Ju Douluo had obtained was nearly 70,000 years old, an extremely high age. Ghost Douluo's left leg bone is nearly 60,000 years old. After absorbing it, Ghost Douluo might even be able to break through to level 96. As for Spirit Kite Douluo, it's mainly because of her lover. Bibidong will use Yushianshang more afterward, so it's time to make peace with him by acquiring spirit bones. After all, as the eldest son of the Kinglun family, what could he possibly need? Ghost Leopard Douluo and Demon Bear Douluo are just a formality. They once pledged their loyalty to the worship hall, and after Jinringsu and Bibidong reconciled their relationship, they served Bibidong. Bibidong will reward them, but not the best. After all, they're not long-time employees, and she might not be very comfortable using them. As for the newcomers, Yushianshang and Longzhenshan, Bibidong doesn't even consider rewards for them. They're already fully stocked with spirit bones. Yushianshang possesses at least 100,000-year-old spirit bone, and Longzhenshan possesses a nearly 100,000-year-old torso bone. Truly gifted, these two don't need any rewards at all. Then, Bibidong suddenly thought of a brat standing behind her, looking at her flatteringly. His meaning was, "Mother, I've served you for so long. Even if I haven't done anything meritorious, I've certainly worked hard. Even if I haven't worked hard, I've certainly been tired. Please reward me with something." Bibidong glared at Li Luchen, then led the way through the gates of the Haoshan sect. The title Douluo followed behind, while the rest of the spirit hall cleaned up the battlefield. Healers tended to the wounded, while those with less serious injuries collected storage spirit guides. Chapter 261 Haoshan's Fall, Tang Yuhua's Fate. Bibidong led a group of title Douluo into the main gate of the Haoshan sect. Upon entering, they were greeted by a scene filled with heavy stone furniture. The world's #1 sect? This is what it looks like inside? Boring? Bibidong found the Haoshan sect's interior too plain and uninspiring. She walked straight to the Haoshan sect master's stone chair and sat down. She felt it and found it hard and uncomfortable, not as comfortable as her own Pope's throne. However, she had no choice but to sit for now until the Spirit Hall's Platinum Bishop reported on the casualty ratio and gains. Li Luchen, noticing Bibidong sitting on the apparently uncomfortable stone chair, thought his virtuous son-in-law must be here. Li Luchen pulled out a soft cushion and a comfortable pillow from his storage soul guide and handed them to Bibidong. Bibidong readily accepted them. This brat is quite tactful. With a cushion and pillow, Bibidong naturally felt more comfortable. She crossed her legs, closed her eyes, and waited for good news. Reporting to His Holiness, the plan to destroy the Clear Sky sect has resulted in the complete annihilation of over 1,200 of its elite disciples and the beheading of 5 of its elders. Spirit Hall members have suffered over 300 casualties and over 1,500 injured, a Platinum Bishop reported. Excellent, Bibi Dong was very pleased with the casualty ratio. Although over 300 had been sacrificed, Spirit Hall provided generous compensation, and their families could be supported. Your Holiness, after taking inventory of the Haitian sect's wealth, we obtained approximately 3 million gold soul coins, and various treasures and artifacts worth 1.5 million gold soul coins, totaling 4.5 million gold soul coins. We harvested more than 10,000 year soul bones, excluding those given to Bibi Dong by the title Douluo elders, more than 20,000 year soul bones, and more than 1,000 year soul bones. Tyrant Douluo, the escaped lineage of the Haitian sect, was completely wiped out, with the 7 treasures glazed tile sect and the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family taking action. We harvested approximately 7 million gold soul coins. Your Holiness, the bodies of Clear Sky sect leader Tang Xiao and the sinner Tang San have not been found. It's said they were out hunting souls a while ago. Excellent, very good. They've escaped. They were just 2 clowns. I'm not afraid. Just because a cripple like Tang Xiao only has the cultivation of a soul Douluo? Tang San may have twin spirits, but he doesn't know how to cultivate them. For now, I won't be afraid. Leave it to elderly. This is a grand occasion for our Spirit Hall. Our Spirit Hall warriors are unrivaled. The mere Clear Sky sect, the world's foremost sect, is but a small fry in the Spirit Hall's lap. Orders are passed down, withdraw to the Spirit Hall. I'll reward the soldiers generously, Bibi Dong declared with a wave of her hand. Li Luochen looked at Bibi Dong at this moment. Why did she seem to be growing more and more crooked? How could she still look like an empress? It seemed like quite a lot had changed. Li Luochen truly wondered what it would be like if the Spirit Hall unified the entire Douluo Continent. One must wait and see. Not long after, at the Haitian sect's mountain gate, thousands of Spirit Hall spirit masters formed into a square formation once again. A bloody aura permeated the spirit masters. Having just experienced a fierce battle and a resounding victory, morale was incredibly high. If Bibi Dong were to lead this force into an attack, she could absolutely sweep through Xingluo City, the capital of the Xingluo Empire. Of course, Bibi Dong wouldn't do that. The casualties to the spirit masters would be too great, and the Spirit Hall hadn't yet absorbed the Xingluo Empire's strengths. Further preparation was needed. Empires differed from sects. The weaker of the 2 empires, the Heaven Dao Empire, possessed a 1,000,000-strong army and the powerful Royal Spirit Master Knights, a formidable force to be reckoned with. The Spirit Hall was quite capable of dealing with Spirit Masters. They lacked the ability to deal with armies, so trading a high-level Spirit Master for a few hundred ordinary soldiers was a bit of a loss. While some large-scale spirit skills can decimate armies, most Spirit Masters wouldn't do so. Even a titled Douluo like Dugubo, renowned for his poison and experienced in massacring cities, wouldn't resort to such a scheme unless absolutely necessary. Furthermore, Dugubo's massacre was only of a small city, belonging to a sworn enemy, with only a few hundred families within. According to Spirit Hall records, poison-attributed Spirit Masters also massacred civilians, earning themselves divine wrath. And what's the difference between massacres and being a corrupted Spirit Master? Furthermore, today's titled Douluos are all incredibly noble and wouldn't resort to such a treacherous act. The Spirit Hall contingent, led by Bibi Dong, returned to the capital, while the Clear Sky sect was burned. With all the dead, what remained? Tang Xiao and Tang San? They weren't human. Sooner or later, they would follow their sects into the aftermath. A few days later, after the Spirit Hall evacuated, they widely reported that the Clear Sky sect had been annihilated by them. The news sent both empires into a frenzy. In Dou City, a beautiful woman from Yuxun fell to her knees and wept bitterly upon hearing the news. Impossible, impossible. The sect has been destroyed, several uncles are gone, my second brother passed away a while ago, and I wonder if something happened to my eldest brother. Am I the only one left? The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. This person is Tang Yuhua, the sister of the leader of the Haitian sect. She founded Yuxun and Dou City, a company that teaches court etiquette and earns a considerable income. Tang Yuhua's beauty is considered among the best in the entire Dou Empire, and many high-ranking officials want to win her over. However, they are wary of the mysterious power behind her. Emperor Zhuyi, however, is aware of Tang Yuhua's origins. He wants to recruit her without offending the Haitian sect, so he protects her very well. This has led outsiders to believe that Emperor Zhu Yi and the Yuxun Palace Master are having an affair. Since Zhu King ascended to power, Yuxun continued to function, though its overall performance had declined somewhat, though this was not a major issue. Now, with the destruction of the Haoshan sect, Tang Yuhu had lost her last remaining shield of protection. Tang Yuhu could already imagine herself becoming the plaything of those odious nobles. What are you doing? What are you doing? Trespassing into Yuxun. Are you seeking death? Yuxun's supervisor, the Ghost King Vine's Soul King, was fending off the uninvited guests. This supervisor wasn't even a soul emperor yet. How, you lackey? Your master's home has been destroyed, and you're still acting like a dog? Get out of the way. I want to taste the Yuxun Palace Master, an ugly middle-aged man cursed. 6 spirit rings emerged from his body, yellow, yellow, purple, 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 and black, and directly suppressed the Ghost King Vine's supervisor. Tang Yuhu had heard the noise, but she was helpless. Although she had a secret passage, she had to go downstairs to get there, and the burly man was already blocking the hallway. Tang Yuhu's eyes were filled with 2 clear tears at this moment. She had already thought of her own end. She immediately picked up the sharp blade under the pillow, ready to kill herself, otherwise she would be taken advantage of by others. Tang Yuhu was about to cut her neck with a knife, but her slender hand was grasped by a huge hand. What a beautiful lady, don't commit suicide, let me feel comfortable first. The ugly middle-aged man was seen holding the supervisor's head with one hand. The supervisor had been seriously injured. When he came up, he saw Tang Yuhu trying to commit suicide. The middle-aged man naturally couldn't let her succeed. The dead are not as interesting as the living. You, let me go. Tang Yuhu no longer had the elegance she once had. Her heart was occupied by fear. She was truly isolated and helpless. Oh, I didn't expect the palace master to be a hottie. I like it. Haha. Chapter 262 Xiangxin saves Yuhu. The ugly middle-aged man's grin stretched almost to his ears. He was one of the few people who knew Tang Yuhu's true identity. In his early years, he had been bullied by the Haoshan sect, which cost him his 5th spirit ring, the chance to acquire a 10,000-year spirit ring. He hated the Haoshan sect, but he also coveted Tang Yuhu's beauty. Now that the Haoshan sect had fallen, Tang Yuhu was left without a protective shield. He finally had a chance to seek revenge. Terrified, Tang Yuhu collapsed to the ground. Unable to avenge the sect, unable to secure her own safety, she felt like a plaything. This time, she wouldn't have a brother to protect her. With one of her 2 brothers missing, and one confirmed dead, she was a hopeless, unloved creature. Hey, Palace Master Tang, let me come and have your favor. Ha 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 ha, tisk, I've been looking at you for so long, it's really disgusting. You should just go to hell. Suddenly, a young man's voice rang out. The 2 people in the room, following the direction of the voice, spotted a handsome young man sitting on the windowsill. The man appeared to be in his early 20s, slender, standing just over 1.90 meters tall, with long, neatly trimmed black hair cascading over his shoulders. He was handsome. He wore a navy blue suit over a navy windbreaker, a medal on his chest, and his appearance betrayed his presence. His right arm, in particular, was bulging. Its entire length had grown to over half a foot, covered in bluish-purple scales. His right palm was also covered in scales, a dragon claw. The claw looked incredibly menacing, yet the young man actually used it to support his head, gazing at the middle-aged man with a smile. You're from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. Judging by your clothes, you're she. Before the ugly middle-aged man could finish his words, Yu Xiangxin ripped his head off. Yu Xiangxin's dragon claw now held the middle-aged man's head. Tisk, as I said before, you talk too much, Yu Xiangxin quipped. Tang Yuhu's heart was in turmoil. She was about to be humiliated, but she was saved. This man appeared before her in her most desperate moment, giving her a sense of security. Yu Xiangxin's rescue was like someone arriving on a rainbow cloud to marry you. It was so heartwarming. Tang Yuhu, however, was a woman of some experience. Although she was actually around 40, she still looked like a beautiful young woman in her 20s, simply because she had taken good care of herself. But Yu Xiangxin was drawn to this kind of woman. Young women were incredibly attractive, and Tang Yuhu's beauty perfectly suited his taste. Yu Xiangxin had been strolling through Xiandao City, looking for something worth buying. Passing by Yuxun, he sensed some activity and came to investigate. With his status, He naturally knew the true identity of Yuxun's leader and his background, and he had come to see what was happening. He had witnessed the Haoshan sect's demise firsthand, and he wondered what would become of this little princess of the Haoshan sect afterward. Yu Xiangxin entered Yuxun to take a look. He was immediately captivated by Tang Yuhu's beauty and charm. However, he quickly calmed down and began to ponder how to conquer her. The feeling of being a hero saving a beautiful woman was quite appealing. For some reason, Yu Xiangxin now found a woman like Tang Yuhu quite alluring. He and Yu Xianheng had previously pursued Du Guyan, though this was largely due to poison Douluo. Perhaps Yu Xianheng genuinely liked Du Guyan, while Yu Xiangxin was more of a rival to Yu Xianheng. This rivalry had a disastrous effect, with both men being brutally beaten by Du Guyan. Then came the scene of Tyrant Douluo versus Thunder Douluo. At the time, the family's pillar of strength, Thunder Douluo Yu Yuanzhen, Yu Xiangxin's great-grandfather, was critically injured and near death. Not long after, Yu Yuanzhen, enraged by the fact that his cousin Xianheng had been crippled by his uncle, Yu Xiagang, died, leading to civil unrest within the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan. My great-grandfather's lineage was completely wiped out by the rebellious Soul Douluo elders, and my own lineage was destined for extinction. Fortunately, my grandfather, Yu Luomian, forged a friendship with Shrek Academy and achieved a breakthrough to the title Douluo realm, possessing a 100,000-year spirit ring. Yu Luomian's elimination of the rebellious elders also severely damaged the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan, leaving the clan solely dependent on Yu Luomian. Only one Soul Douluo remained, an elder from their lineage, but his lifespan was tragically short. Fewer than 10 Soul Saints remained, the highest of whom was Yu Xiangxin's father, at level 77. He had potential for Soul Douluo status, but not title Douluo. Now, Yu Xiangxin was the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan's only hope. He was the most talented young man left, reaching level 68, but that wasn't enough. A Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex's martial spirit needed to reach Soul Sage status to truly soar. A Soul Sage level Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex was completely unafraid of ordinary Soul Douluos, such as the Titan of the Power Clan. While its power rivaled that of the title Douluo, it was still just strength. The Soul Douluo of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex could achieve title Douluo strength at full power. A mere single attribute clan, the Liu clan, looked down upon them. Yu Xiangxin's good comrades, he actually thought, were quite good. Yang Wu's soul-breaking spear was incredibly powerful, and Niu Dun was truly tough and resilient. Yu Xiangxin agreed. Yu Xiangxin was confident he could break through to title Douluo before he turned 40, and that the level 95 bottleneck that had held his great-grandfather, Yu Yuanzhen, for nearly a decade wouldn't necessarily hold him back. However, with only one powerful figure, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan would remain vulnerable even after his fall. The latest novel will be released on the 69th book bar. Yu Luomian's advice to him was to find more wives and have more children, preferably those with sufficient talent and innate soul power no lower than level 8. Only then would the children born this way be good enough. As long as Yu Xiangxin could have children, the more he had, the more he would be able to protect the family for centuries once he reached the title Douluo level. With 2 title Douluos as his protectors, his children should be able to grow up. Only then could the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family truly rise to prominence. So why did Yu Xiangxin set his sights on Tang Yuhu? It was well known that Tang Yuhu couldn't cultivate. Although she had awakened her martial spirit and reached the 9th level of innate soul power, she couldn't cultivate and was considered useless. As Li Luochun's disciple, Yu Xiangxin's perspective was more nuanced. Li Luochun had told them that innate soul power determines talent, but it's not the only factor. Possessing immortal herbs could defy fate and enhance one's talent. A single, perfectly compatible immortal herb could transform someone with only half-level innate soul power into a genius with full soul power. Of course, immortal herbs are hard to come by, but my family cultivates them ourselves. There are also those with high innate soul power who experience defects when awakening their martial spirit, preventing them from cultivating or experiencing side effects while cultivating. This doesn't mean they don't have the talent, but rather it serves as a trigger to unleash it. For example, Mo Hongjin's original evil fire phoenix affected his desires. However, with the help of immortal herbs, his talent was completely improved, and the evil fire disappeared completely. Yu Xiangxin concluded that Tang Yuhu wasn't useless, but simply lacked the talent to be restored by immortal herbs. After all, Her innate soul power reached level 9, and she was very talented, but her martial soul was flawed. Furthermore, her martial soul possessed a built-in domain. This was crucial, and it was why Yu Xiangxin coveted Tang Yuhua. He wanted to see if she could bear him a good child. Time returned to reality. Yu Xiangxin turned to look at Tang Yuhua and said gently, "Are you okay? Can you get up?" With that, he extended his left hand. It was slender, and the hands beneath the dragon claws wasn't as wild as one might imagine. Chapter 263, Moonlight in the Heart of Heaven. "Are you okay? Can you get up?" Hearing Yu Xiangxin's gentle voice, Tang Yuhua didn't know what to say. The gloomy world suddenly became colorful. "Huh? Oh, I'm fine. I can get up." Tang Yuhua was about to stand up, but her legs trembled and she fell. Yu Xiangxin just happened to lean down and hug Tang Yuhua, helping her to her feet. After all, Tang Yuhua's legs hadn't recovered from the shock, and they were still weak. She fell into Yu Xiangxin's arms. Yu Xiangxin's tall and strong figure somehow made Tang Yuhua feel at ease. This feeling was very comforting, as if she had been bullied by the sect members in the past, and her second brother protected her and drove away all the bullies. This feeling made her feel at ease. "Isn't the pace a little fast? Never mind. I have to play to the strengths of my blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, the strengths that make women like me." It's true that the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family is somehow so attractive to women, and women are often madly in love with them. Tang Yuhua was now immersed in grief and the warmth she had just found. At her weakest, she collapsed against Yu Xiangxin. Yu Xiangxin gave her the feeling of a second brother, Tang Hao. Strong and powerful, yet with a gentle heart, she felt safe under the protection of such a man. Furthermore, Yu Xiangxin's figure was similar to Tang Hao's, though he was more handsome. As he embraced Tang Yuhua, Yu Xiangxin felt a surge of irritation. After all, Tang Yuhua, though a bit older, was incredibly well maintained, with curves, an S-shaped figure. Yu Xiangxin suddenly recalled Daimyo Bei's casual conversation with the others. After all, he was the only Sea King in Shrek Academy, and he had several dates every day. "Daimyo Bei, although I'm not as strong as you, when it comes to picking up girls, I can be your master." Women are very insecure creatures. So, when a woman gets close to you, you can be bolder and more confident. You might get a pleasant surprise. Daimyo Bei's devilish smile flashed through Yu Xiangxin's mind, and she decided to give it a try. Yu Xiangxin also hugged Tang Yuhua, her hands still unconsciously groping. "I'll omit the process because I can't write it down." On the other side, outside the Star Dou Great Forest. "Xiao-sen, has your spirit really evolved?" Tang Xiao looked at Tang Sen, who was only half a head shorter than him. "Half evolved, half-step Blue Silver King. The spirit rings I absorbed this time have enhanced the blue silver grass's vital properties, replenishing a significant portion of its life essence. Unfortunately, the blue silver grass was previously attacked by too many toxins, causing significant damage. Although I'm using the 8 spider lenses as a transit point to transfer the toxins from my martial spirit to them, the toxins still affect the blue silver grass. For now, I can only say that it won't affect my cultivation. If I can fully repair the blue silver grass, I'm likely to obtain a 7th spirit ring or even some immortal herbs." Tang San's words also made Tang Xiao feel delighted. After so much hard work, Tang San's talent had finally been restored. Although it's a little slow, you can still cultivate to the level of a title Douluo. Then, with the addition of the Clear Sky Hammer spirit ring, you'll be even stronger. Your uncle's strength has also recovered, and even reached a new level. His spirit power has reached level 97, making him a rare rival in the modern spirit master world. "Xiao-sen, leave your future spirit rings to your uncle." At this moment, Tang Xiao had regained his former vigor and vitality. His left arm had been repaired, and his spirit power had increased to level 97, greatly improving his strength. "Uncle, are you getting used to your new arm?" Tang San asked. After absorbing the spirit ring, he noticed his uncle's left arm had regrown, and his aura seemed even stronger. "Ha, of course. But I still need to get used to it. After all, it's been 3 years since I lost it. Besides, my strength has increased even more. I want to learn the Great Sumeru Hammer first, our Clear Sky Sect's true ultimate skill. Your father used it to defeat Kyank Sunji. Now that my strength has greatly increased, I should be able to learn it successfully. I'll teach you when you start practicing the Clear Sky Hammer." Tang Xiao and Tang San had gained a lot in the Star Dou Great Forest. One's talent had been restored, while the other, who had lost his arm, had regained his original cultivation and even reached a new level. Xiao-san, we've finally had some peace and prosperity. The elders will be even happier when we return to the sect. Yes, uncle, I know the elders have high hopes for me. For the Clear Sky sect, Tang Xiao's recovery and subsequent breakthrough to level 97 were a joyous occasion in themselves. Tang San's restored talent was a significant event. After all, Tang San's talent could very well surpass that of his predecessor, Clear Sky Douluo Tang Chen. The Clear Sky clan's rise depended on Tang San, leading the clan to defeat the Spirit Wall and dominate the Douluo Continent. Imagining a bright future, Tang Xiao and Tang San quickly advanced towards the Clear Sky clan's location, until they arrived at its charred gate. Where is this? Where's the sect? Where's my home? Tang Xiao stared at the scene before him, feeling as if his eyes were playing a huge trick on him. Everything was fine before he left, but he couldn't go back. His home was gone. As he walked forward, Tang Xiao saw the piled corpses of his own people, reduced to bones. A massive fire had burned not only the Clear Sky clan's gate, but also the remains of its members. Tang Xiao, trembling, walked towards the sect perched on a tree. He saw the remains of 5 elders. Their bodies were utterly battered, their spirit bones forcibly ripped away. Sect, clansman. What the hell is going on? Tang Xiao was furious. He roared at the sky, and the gloomy, rainy skies of the Clear Sky sect suddenly became pierced by a surge of spirit energy. It must be the Spirit Hall. No other faction has such power. Damn it. Damn the Spirit Hall. Uncle, cheer up. Is there a secret passage in the sect? If there is, some of the clansmen must have escaped. Tang San was still somewhat lucid, but his home had been destroyed once again by the Spirit Hall, and his fury intensified. Yes. Come with me. Only then did Tang Xiao realize that the Clear Sky sect had a secret passage. This might be the last spark of fire. Tang Xiao then led Tang San to the secret passage and fled to the back mountain of the Clear Sky sect. Little did they know, the scene there was even more horrific than at the main gate. On the other side, Yu Xun was watching Tang Yuho crawling on Yu Xiangxin's body. She was naked, her pretty face flushed. At this moment, her eyes had returned to normal. She was secretly cursing herself for being so easily taken down by this man. This man saved her, but was he just greedy for her body? Would he throw her away when he got tired of her? Tang Yuho was very confused now. Yu Xiangxin, on the other hand, was very refreshed. Tang Yuho was very charming. He was very satisfied and decided to take Tang Yuho into his own pocket. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264 Sea God Island. Yu Xun and Yu Xiangxin had already conquered Tang Yuho. While not completely, the matter was settled, and Tang Yuho's level of cultivation meant she couldn't escape. Besides, Tang Yuho had just been saved by Yu Xiangxin, saved at the most desperate moment. While her fate might have been different, Yu Xiangxin was handsome, much more handsome than that ugly middle-aged man, and still younger. She herself was suspected of being too young for her. Both of them had their own agenda, though they kept it to themselves. Since the matter was settled, what else could they do? They were hugging each other now? Of course, they would continue the fight, but Tang Yuho's body couldn't withstand such a powerful blow. Elsewhere, at Shrek Academy, Li Luochen's side had just concluded a single-handed battle against the 4 heavenly kings. Li Luochen had emerged victorious, leaving the 4 heavenly kings sprawled out, foaming at the mouth. The golden-haired heavenly king and the azure dragon heavenly king suffered the most, foaming from their 3 mouths. The golden-haired heavenly king's belly was so swollen it couldn't contain the foam. Li Luochen had just stood up and stretched when his soul power suddenly fluctuated. His peak soul power of level 97 had broken through to level 98. Author and reader. 6 Li Luochen was a bit bewildered. After a night of fierce fighting, he'd already broken through? So simple? The next step was to break through to level 99 and defeat Tang Chen to obtain the 9 trials of the Shrek God. However, Li Luochen wasn't in a rush for now. A half-crippled Tang Chen was no match for him, not even Tang Chen at his peak. Tang Chen's only strength was his ability to wield the sure blood sword, which was a bit of a pain. Li Luochen didn't think the sure god would give him a backdoor in this matter. If he, Li Luochen, couldn't even defeat Tang Chen, he would just go home and raise his children, not inherit the throne. However, Li Luochen no longer feared the artifact. A thought struck him, and he unleashed his spirit, the sky-supporting dragon pillar. The sky-supporting dragon pillar was now almost a physical weapon, a semi-artifact. Once fully realized, Li Luochen could no longer contain it in his right hand. His spirit space couldn't hold it anyway, but Li Luochen had already figured out how to fully transform his spirit into an artifact. This was Li Luochen's trump card against Tang Chen, who possessed the sure sword. Against an artifact, especially one as powerful as the sure god, any weapon's spirit would be suppressed. Only if Li Luochen condensed his own artifact would he be fearless. How much power could Tang Chen unleash with the sure sword? Li Luochen, however, could unleash the full power of the artifact, for it was his spirit itself, a perfect match for him. 3 days later, Li Luochen reassembled his team. Let's finish talking about opportunities earlier. Since the Haotian sect matter has been put on hold for a while, I'll finish it now. The place we're going to is called Sea God Island, an island off the mainland. It's inhabited by sea spirit masters. The sea is their home, and their fighting power is immense. Sea God Island is dedicated to the sea god and holds his legacy. However, you don't have the qualifications to inherit it. They do have other assessments, yellow, purple, black, and red, each with different rewards. I see your qualifications are at the lowest black level. There are red levels, too. But they're not without their challenges. The higher the level, the more difficult it is, so you must give your all. Of course, the rewards you'll receive from passing the assessments will be enormous. For example, it's not impossible for all of your soul Douluo, or even several of them, to reach title Douluo status. Well, that's all. Any further questions? Li Luochen said to the Shrek group. Brother Chen, Li Luochen had them call him brother in private, director in public. What is the sea god? A deity, Oscar asked. Yes. It's a god, a powerful being whose soul power far exceeds level 100. He was an unparalleled strong being 1,000 years ago and unified the sea. Level 99 Extreme Douluo is a group of people close to gods, and can be called demigods, but they are not good enough in front of level 100 strong people. By the way, the angel god believed in by the Spirit Hall is also a god. She was the one who defeated the fallen soul masters on the continent, repelled the beast tide, established the Spirit Hall, and broke through level 100 to become a god. Your second sister-in-law Jinring Su is the direct descendant of that angel god, and she is the most talented person among all the angels in history. She can completely inherit the angel god. So, some people are born with a golden key, and she is the natural inheritor of the gods. On the other side, Li Luochen's family hissed Jinring Su, who was lying on the bed, sneezed. Because of the sneeze, she pulled her waist, and there were bursts of pain in her waist. Lingling, rub my waist for me. It hurts so much, Jinring Su said softly. Her waist felt nearly broken. She didn't know why that beast, Li Luochen, loved to tease her so much. The latest novel is released on the 69th book forum. It's pervasive. Okay, Sister Zhu, thanks to her martial spirit, Yi Lingling had a strong recovery ability, and Li Luochen had been lenient with her. She wasn't in too much pain, just a little bloated at best. As for Zhu Zhuking, she hadn't woken up yet, she'd already passed out. Du Yan, who had the strongest physique, was now full of life and had gone to look after the children. Only the three of them remained in bed. That bastard Chen must be talking behind my back, Jinring Su muttered. So, Brother Chen, are you the heir of the gods? Of course, but the formal assessment hasn't taken place yet. There are still some prerequisites. I'll send you to Sea God Island later. Don't act arrogantly once you're there. Xiangxin and Mubei will keep an eye on your stuff. The High Priestess of Sea God Island is a woman, and she's a ruthless person. Be careful not to let her cripple you. Oh, and your sister-in-law Yan is also going this time. She's inherited the Sea God's legacy. While you're completing your own assessments, you can help her along the way. However, with your sister-in-law Yan's strength, she shouldn't need your help, Li Luochen said, stroking his chin. Du Yan's current strength shouldn't be a problem for the so-called 9 Sea God trials. The only problem is the deep-sea demon whale king. It's a pity to lose its spirit ring, but obtaining its spirit bone is enough. Yanzi now has a full set of 100,000-year spirit bones, with only one torso bone missing. Dou Yan's soul bones, the demon-slaying skull, a 100,000-year-old sea demon dragon's concentrated spirit, the right arm bone of a 100,000-year-old azure bull python, the left arm bone of a 100,000-year-old sea thunder dragon, the black mamba's left arm bone has been replaced, the right leg bone of a 100,000-year-old sea demon dragon, and the left leg bone of a 100,000-year-old golden crocodile dragon. Li Luochen considered the dark gold ear or claws attached soul bone. His daughter's soul bone configuration was truly exceptional, all sub-dragon soul bones. This configuration hadn't existed in tens of thousands of years. Furthermore, no one was more suitable for the torso bone of the deep-sea demon whale king than she was. Chapter 265 Hanhei City. Li Luochen prepared everything for the upcoming trip and departed that very day. The Shrek team didn't have much to bring, so they were traveling light. Actually, they were just storage soul guides, but there was an unexpected person. Ma Hongjin brought a girl to the Shrek team and told Li Luochen that he wanted to bring his girlfriend along. The girl looked about the same age as Ma Hongjin and the others, tall and well-proportioned, with a graceful figure, slender and light, and extremely beautiful. Although a little thin, her looks were only slightly inferior to those of Zhu Xiuqing, Yi Lingling, and the others. Her eyes seemed a little arrogant, but in fact they were tsundere. Her beautiful eyes darted around, as if she was interested in everything around her. "Ajun, would you like to introduce me?" Oscar said with a smile, putting his arm around Ma Hongjin's arm. They had been friends since childhood, so naturally they had a very good relationship. "Let me introduce you all. This is my girlfriend, Bai Chengxiang, a disciple of the Zuiniao sect and the granddaughter of the leader of the Minai clan, one of the 4 single-attribute clans." "Hey," Ma Hongjin said shyly. After all, he was bringing his girlfriend home to visit his family. Bai Chengxiang was also a little shy. After all, Shrek Academy was Ma Hongjin's home, and she was here to visit his family. "Hello everyone, my name is Bai Chengxiang. I'm 16 years old. My martial spirit is the Swift Falcon. My spirit power is level 51." Bai Chengxiang spoke restrainedly, her introduction completely baffling Li Luochen. Hiss, everyone present gasped. This girl was hiding her true potential. What the hell? Isn't Bai Chengxiang a spine-tailed swift? What the hell is this Swift Falcon? Reaching the Soul King level at the tender age of 16? Are you kidding me? Bai Chengxiang's joining the team didn't cause any major stir. Instead, the girls on the Shrek team were friendly to her. A welcome addition to the Shrek girl group. Haha, old Li, isn't our old used direct female disciple quite capable? A cyan figure appeared behind Li Luochen, booming with a hearty voice. This person was none other than Yu Xiansheng, the leader of the Zuiniao sect, an elder of the Spirit Hall, and wind god Douluo. I remember the Min clan's spirit is the spine-tailed swift. What the hell is this Swift Falcon? Li Luochen asked bluntly. After all, he and Yu Xiansheng were good friends and had nothing to hide. Hey, remember my 9th soul ring, Skylord? Over in Hurricane Canyon, on Skylord's trump card, there was yes, immortal grade herb. Later, I borrowed the immortal herb record from Zhu Douluo and looked it over. It's called Wind Spirit Falcon Grass, a wind-attributed immortal grade herb. Coincidentally, I've subdued the Min clan, whose spirits all possess the spine-tailed swift, a purely agile spirit that requires Soul Douluo to possess offensive power. Bai his granddaughter is incredibly talented, possessing innate spirit power at the 9th level. So, I gifted her this immortal herb and made her my personal disciple, placing her at the same level as Ma Hongjin. She was incredibly lucky, evolving her spirit from the spine-tailed swift into the swift wind falcon, an extremely powerful, top-tier bird spirit with a strong wind attribute. This spirit overcame the lack of offensive power inherent in her family's spirits. Not only did her attack power increase, but her speed was also enhanced, rivaling that of my own level. She will be my perfect successor. I have taught her my 9 styles of Blue Loon and 9 slashes of Gale. She is very powerful. The little white tiger in your team is no match for her. After listening to Yu Xiansheng's words, Li Luochen also looked at Bai Chengxiang from the Shrek team. It was quite interesting. Daimyo Bei had become a unit of measurement for combat power. Are you so confident that you let them go out to play? Li Luochen asked. What's there to worry about? How can a bird soaring in the sky be trapped in a cage? Besides, I need to go into seclusion for the next 2 years to break through to level 98. In 2 years, you have to return them to me. In 2 years, the Pope will re-elect the 7 major sects. By then, I will have a use for them. After all, my Zuineo sect is going to be the #1 sect in the world. Yu Xianshang expressed his thoughts. Hey, I didn't expect you to say such a cool thing. Breaking through to level 98 in 2 years? You want 2 levels in 2 years? No way. You're level 97? So fast. Li Luochen hadn't checked Yu Xianshang's strength and assumed he was level 96. He didn't expect him to reach level 97 so quickly. Didn't you expect that? You just broke through 2 days ago, Yu Xianshang boasted. That's quite a coincidence. I also just broke through to level 98 2 days ago, Li Luochen boasted in the same way, instantly ruining Yu Xianshang's good mood. He flew away to retreat and break through. Half a day later, Li Luochen led his wife Du Yuyan and the members of the Shrek team to Hanhei City, the coastal city closest to Sea God Island. They traveled by carriage. The members traveling to Sea God Island this time included the latest novels released on the 6-9 book bar. Du Yuyan, level 87 Soul Douluo, Ma Hongjin, level 76 Soul Sage, Yi Lingling, level 74 Soul Sage, Zhu Huqing, level 73 Soul Sage, Oscar, level 72 Soul Sage, Yu Xiangxin, level 69 Soul Emperor, Yang Wu and Niu Dun, level 68 Soul Emperor, Ning Rongrong, level 65, Wang Yuan, Jingling and Jiang Zhu, level 62 Soul Emperor, Daimyu Bei, level 58 Soul King, Bai Chengxiang, level 51 Soul King. Li Luochen led them to Sea God Island to rapidly advance. There was no doubt that these soul sages would pass the assessment and become titled Douluo. With some effort, the high-level soul emperors, Yu Xiangxin, Yang Wu, and Niu Dun, could also become titled Douluo. The rest were likely soul Douluos. Sea God Island was rich in resources, especially divinely bestowed spirit rings, which were the real prize. Li Luochen truly couldn't find enough suitable 100,000-year spirit rings, so he had to ask the Sea God to spend more money. Li Luochen planned to send them to Sea God Island for the assessment. After receiving the Sea God's light, he planned to do something. After that, he would go to Slaughter City and eliminate Tang Chen to pass the assessment. A few days later, Hanhei City. Hanhei City, the largest city in the western part of the Heaven Dao Empire, is also the largest coastal city and port city on the Douluo Continent. Built along the sea, or rather, on a mountain by the sea, the vast city remains unshaken by the ebb and flow of the tides. The thick walls were undoubtedly those of a major city. Before entering the city, everyone could already smell a faint, salty aroma. Entry into Hanhei City naturally required a soul guide inspection, but who was Li Luochen? He simply handed the Hanhei guards an imperial token and let them pass. What a joke. How could a small city like theirs intercept a team with an imperial token? Rules are rigid, but people are dynamic. The guards didn't have the guts to stop them and simply let them pass. After passing through the city wall and entering Hanhei City, the salty smell became even stronger. The Shrek Academy members observed that the people of Hanhei City were somewhat different from those in the inland areas. The people here were generally shorter and had darker skin, a healthy tan. Chapter 266, Sailing. Upon entering Hanhei City, the Shrek group naturally went shopping. Couples go shopping, of course, but Li Luochen brought 3 beauties with him. Li Luochen planned to visit the Hanhei City auction house to see if there were any good finds, but his luck was quite bad this time. Nothing was available at the auction, so he decided to rest at the hotel. Li Luochen had booked a large ship, set to sail in 7 days. To avoid unnecessary trouble, he had Ma Hongjin and Oscar go by it and release their spirit rings, preventing the crew from having any undue worries. In the Spirit Master world, strength is paramount. Playing the pig to eat the tiger? That's long past a point. Only tyrannical strength can deter any evil spirits. 7 days later, the Shrek group had nearly crossed the entire city, exiting Hanhei City through its west gate. They followed a wide path carved out of the reef outside the city walls and descended the reef, heading straight for the dock. Anyone wanting to reach the sea from the Hanhei City dock must take this route. So, despite the difficulty of building a road on the reef, Hanhei City officials have spared no effort to maintain it in excellent condition. The docks here are enormous, with at least 20 piers hundreds of meters long jutting out into the sea, moored with hundreds of ships. This is the starting and ending point of maritime trade and a significant source of income for Hanhei City. While the sea is home to powerful spirit beasts, it also holds endless wealth. Living off the sea has long been an unwavering principle in Hanhei City. Even though people die annually at the hands of sea spirit beasts, this situation remains unchanged. Near the sea, much of the land is saline alkali, unsuitable for growing crops. Only the diverse creatures of the sea can bring Hanhei City any benefit. It's precisely because of the sea that the people here can trade for various resources. Li Yusong soon found the ship that Ma Hongjin and Oscar had rented that day. It was a brand new vessel, remarkably impressive. The hull was painted iron-colored, with only the decks decorated in red, blue, and white. It was said that painting the hull iron-colored could minimize attacks from spirit beasts. The ship was 70 meters long and over 30 meters wide, making it medium-sized for a seagoing vessel, but also quite large. A closer look revealed a thick layer of armor beneath the iron-gray paint, protecting the hull. Ma Hongjin and Oscar had chosen this ship because of its impressive defensive capabilities. While chartering the ship cost a considerable amount of money, it was well worth it if they could successfully reach Poseidon Island. As for their return, they would have to rely on their own abilities. Welcome to the Kong. As everyone stepped onto the ship along the deck, a middle-aged man who appeared to be in his 40s came up, laughing and making a welcoming gesture. Ma Hongjin introduced everyone. This is Mr. Halden, captain of the Kong. Halden smiled cheerfully. Welcome, beautiful ladies and handsome gentlemen. I'm delighted to be of service to you. Please follow me, and I'll introduce you to the Kong. As he spoke, his gaze swept over the crowd, filled with fear and dread. A few days ago, two young men arrived, and they were actually soul sages. Their spirit ring configuration nearly terrified him. For sea dwellers like them, besides being legitimate captains, they were also, to some extent, pirates. Halden was also a pirate, one of the captains of the Purple Pearl Pirates, known as the Lion King of the Sea. He was quite powerful, possessing a level 55 spirit power and the optimal spirit ring configuration, the Sea Lion Spirit. But fighting a soul sage was impossible. And that day, one of the men mentioned that he had a monarch on his mission, and it was an honor to serve such a monarch. What was a monarch? Halden naturally understood. After all, he was a soul king, with a bit of vision. And this time, he was actually serving a title Douluo. How could he possibly harbor any ill intentions? For this very reason, he had even left his entire family in vast sea city. He had a small fortune, owning a house there. His money was stored with his wife, ensuring his family would be well off should anything happen to him. Back to reality, Halden explained that the Quake had a crew of 8, the captain, a first mate, and 6 crew members. The Conch had 3 decks, 2 above deck and 1 below. As the ones paying for the space, the Shrek crew naturally occupied the 2 above decks, while the crew stayed below. The top deck offered a unique view from above, offering a unique experience. The upper deck had 10 rooms, more than enough for everyone on Shrek. The rich scent of the sea assaulted everyone's senses from the moment they boarded. The howling sea breeze brought a chill to the late autumn air. Fortunately, everyone was no ordinary person, their bodies resilient, so the chilly wind was nothing to them. Weigh anchor and set sail. With everyone present, Captain Halden gave the order, and the Conch officially set sail. Their destination was Poseidon Island, and as a citizen of the sea, Halden knew the route. The weather was beautiful, the seas calm, and the Conch was quite large. After weighing anchor, the crew effortlessly sailed out of the harbor and headed straight out to sea. Once the Conch was fully out to sea and out of the harbor, Captain Halden gave the order, hoisted the mainsail, adjusted the course, and accelerated towards their destination. The sight of the ocean is incomparable. Without truly experiencing it, one can never truly grasp its magnificent grandeur. The boundless expanse stretched as far as the eye could see, where the water met the sky in the distance. The sun had already risen in the east, shimmering across the surface of the sea. The latest novel is being released on the 6ix9ine book forum. Li Yusong suddenly stood on the bow, feeling the sea breeze. Although he had been to the sea many times, this was his first time on a boat. He wanted to shout, "Pirate King, I'm done for." However, the dignity of the strong, more accurately, Li Yusong needed to maintain his status as he grew stronger, so he couldn't shout nonsense. He wouldn't do anything that would undermine his dignity. The sea breeze, though a bit chilly, seemed to open everyone's hearts. An indescribable sense of relief filled them all with a surge of excitement. This excitement lasted until noon. Lunch, naturally, consisted mainly of marine life, a few simple fish, boiled in water and served with vegetables purchased from Hanhei City. Although there was nothing special about it, everyone enjoyed it with relish. Especially, Captain Heldon specially added a few huge crabs for them. This kind of delicacy that is rarely eaten inland made everyone in Shrek very satisfied. However, after lunch, the only ones who could maintain this mentality were Du Yan, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Dai Mu Bei, Ma Hongjian, Bai Chengxiang and Jiang Zhu. In the afternoon, the wind and waves gradually rose, and the conch also began to fluctuate with the wind and waves. At the beginning, there was nothing, but as time went on, Li Luchen, Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing, Yi Lingling, Oscar, Yu Xiangxin, Wang Yuan, Jingling and others all became seasick. Li Luchen vomited a lot because he ate a lot. I'm a titled Douluo, why am I seasick? Ugh, this, ugh, not at all, ugh, Kuoksu, ugh. Chapter 267 Sailing. Seasickness was truly a sight to behold, affecting everyone from ordinary people to titled Douluo. On the first day of the voyage, Li Luchen lay on Du Yan's lap, his face pale, evidently dizzy from vomiting so much. Patrol duties were now handed over to those who weren't seasick, and Li Luchen was exhausted, even doubting himself. He could fly and even perform extreme maneuvers, so why was a boat so awful? Du Yan's lap pillow was undoubtedly very comfortable. The rest of the seasick individuals retreated to their rooms to lie down. After all, seasickness is dizzy, and even a few steps might lead to vomiting. The day passed quickly, and all around them was endless water, with no sign of land in sight. At first, the seafaring group had found it much more comfortable than on land. But by the end of the day, everyone was pale. While the others were still struggling to overcome their seasickness, Li Luchen was already brimming with energy. He had overcome his seasickness in just one day. It spoke volumes about his resilience and adaptability. Although he vomited the most and most violently, he was also the quickest to stop seasickness. This made the seasick members envious. However, they were all spirit masters above level 60, their bodies highly adaptable after numerous transformations. By the third day, they had gradually adjusted to the rough seas. The journey to Seagoat Island took 8 days, and the island was surrounded by a school of demon-soul great white sharks, making access extremely difficult. Halden could only lead the Shrek group to a point just outside the school of demon-soul great white sharks, leaving them on their own for the rest of the journey. Li Luchen wasn't worried. He'd noticed over the past few days that Du Yan's performance at sea was similar to hers on land. Her golden azure dragon martial spirit, inherently water attributed, made her comfortable in the sea, if not like a fish in water, but close enough. Li Luchen couldn't swim as well as Du Yan, so on the third day, when everyone at Shrek Academy had recovered enough, he allowed them to start swimming lessons. After all, they were all land-based soul masters, and 99% of them were landlubbers. Li Luchen himself was also learning to swim, as swimming was crucial at sea. At night, Captain Halden, why did sea soul beasts attack us when we entered the water, but not the ship? What would you do if a sea soul beast attacked you on a long voyage like this? Oscar asked during dinner. Halden smiled heartily and said, generally speaking, soul beasts rarely attack ships. Only a small number of soul beasts with extremely violent personalities have records of actively attacking ships. Therefore, as long as we don't anger the soul beasts in the sea, most of the time there will be no problems. If we really encounter those particularly powerful and bad-tempered soul beasts, we can only consider ourselves unlucky. After all, no matter how strong a ship is, it can't withstand those terrifying guys. Many people die when going out to sea every year. It is equivalent to a memorial to these sea soul beasts. But you can rest assured, our ship is coated with a medicine specially used to drive away soul beasts. Soul beasts hate this smell and generally won't approach. The captain of a ship that dares to go to the ocean has a nautical chart in his mind. With this nautical chart, we can generally ensure the safety of the passengers. Oh? What nautical chart? Mo Hongjin asked curiously. A chart showing the distribution of powerful sea soul beasts, Halden said. Soul beasts at sea are similar to those on land in some respects. They too maintain their own territories, and their sense of territory is even stronger than that of land soul beasts. Therefore, as long as we avoid entering the territories of particularly powerful sea soul beasts, we won't offend them and cause trouble. A hint of pride crossed his face. Li Luchen glanced at him and said, It seems the captain is quite knowledgeable about soul beasts. It seems the sea creatures are no ordinary beasts. A soul king around 40 years old is not bad, and soul sage is probably within reach. Haha, your majesty, you're joking. I've only wasted my youth, no comparison to you and your students. Halden felt a little intimidated by Li Yusong's praise. After all, this was a titled Douluo, looking like he was in his 20s, although titled Douluos could experience rejuvenation. But most of the other members called him brother. He could tell the youngest girl in white, Bai Chengxiang, had slightly lower spirit power than him, yet even she called him brother, so perhaps his majesty wasn't really that old. Rumor had it that the 7 sacred pillars Douluo of Sea God Island were all over 50. Were all mainland spirit masters so formidable? However, after spending a few days with him, Halden found that these mainland spirit masters weren't difficult to get along with. If he completed his mission, he might even receive a great reward. Time flew by at sea, and soon, night fell. It was a beautiful night, allowing for clear views of the stars and moon. The sight of the moon rising over the sea was all the more captivating. At sea, Day 9. Old hi, how are you guys with the Purple Pearl Pirates? Ma Hongjin asked, his arm around Halden's shoulder. They'd become quite close these past few days. Halden had always boasted about being a member of the Purple Pearl Pirates, and he was quite proud of it, sparking curiosity among the Shrek crew. Our Purple Pearl Pirates are based on Purple Pearl Island, 2 days sail from here. Over the past decade, under the leadership of our leader, Lady Purple Pearl, we have incorporated or destroyed all the smaller pirate groups in this area, forming a massive organization with over 3,000 members, including over 200 spirit masters. My ship, the Kong, is ranked among the top 5 in the group, and all of my crew members are my people. I was originally the leader of a pirate group myself, but was later incorporated. The latest novel is being released on the 6ix9ine book forum. The leader of our Purple Pearl Pirates is a soul emperor. She's incredibly powerful. She's probably around 37 or 38, but she's well maintained, looking only in her 20s. She's a truly beautiful woman. However, our leader's sexual orientation is somewhat unconventional. For unknown reasons, she's attracted to women, which discourages the male pirates who join the Purple Pearl Pirates because of her. But, Xioma, you're so handsome. You might even be able to take down the leader, Halden teased with a smile. HMPH, Bai Chengxiang blushed upon hearing this. She pinched Ma Hongjin's ear with one hand and carried him away. Oh my, Xiangxiang, it's not what you think. You're the only one in my heart. Oh my ear's broken. Oh my, everyone, he's handpicked. Li Yusong rested his head against Zhu Huking's generous chest, a look of contentment on his face. He wasn't interested in Zhenzu. He had enough family and several children. He couldn't take in any more. If he did, he might lose his kidneys. Yu Xiangxin and Daimyu Bei, on the other hand, had some ideas about Zhenzu, thinking about how to seduce her. Daimyu Bei simply wanted to have a taste of her beauty, while Yu Xiangxin wanted to make her his harem, to expand his family. Zhenzu, who had just woken up at the Purple Pearl Pirates headquarters, shuddered for some reason, feeling like she was being watched by something filthy. Maybe I didn't sleep well enough. Okay, let's take a nap. Someone, call Kyankian over to sleep with me. Yes, the guard outside went to fetch someone. Kyankian was one of the captains of the Purple Pearl Pirates, a beautiful sea spirit master, also known as the Purple Pearl's first wife. Chapter 268 Arrival at Poseidon Island. On the 10th day of the voyage, at this time in the morning, a large number of people gathered in front of the Kong. They could see the island looming in the distance, but they could not proceed any further. This was because the soul masters above soul sage level had already sensed the aura surrounding Sea God Island. It was too numerous, and extremely strong. Brother Chen, how do we get there? Oscar asked. Follow your sister Yanzi. She has been recognized by the vast sea cosmic shroud, a treasure of Sea God Island. She should be able to lead you in. Li Yusong immediately decided on this option. Yes, the vast sea cosmic shroud has 4 abilities. The vast sea bodyguard can conceal our aura. I tested it a few days ago. Using the vast sea bodyguard can block out the seawater, and even Chen's mental power cannot detect my presence. As Du Yan spoke, something suddenly appeared in his hand. It was a very strange object, a crystal clear blue, in the shape of a 3-dimensional triangle. It seemed to be carved from sapphire and was only the size of a palm. Amidst the shimmering blue light, A precious aura permeated the space, and strange energy fluctuations continuously emanated from it. Rippling lines resembling water waves rippled across the blue triangle. These lines didn't appear carved, but rather alive. Circles of blue light flickered, shimmering the chamber with a faint, precious glow. Its entire azure hue resembled nothing more than an ordinary gem. Follow Yanzi. Since you're in a large group, your presence might leak out. I'll act as cover. I'll fly over and draw their attention, while you quickly pass through the demon soul great white sharks. Head directly to the seabed. Once you see me flying, begin your move. Yes, Li Yusong explained the method of passing through the demon soul great white sharks. He thought it was a brilliant idea. After all, as powerful as he was, he couldn't just suppress them with force. Yanzi still had to inherit the throne of the sea god. Let's keep a low profile. Li Yusong felt that this compromise method was particularly good, and he had already felt that he was being locked by a powerful mental force. If I guessed correctly, it should be Poseidon, the high priest of Sea God Island. There was no way. Li Yusong did not hide his breath, although it was still some distance away from Sea God Island. If even the ultimate Douluo could not find him, then he could really go home and take care of his children. The Shrek people followed Douyan into the seabed. Douyan cast a vast sea shield, which directly enveloped everyone in Shrek Academy. The range of the vast sea shield was related to Douyan's mental power. Although there were more people coming from Shrek, Douyan's mental power enveloped them. It was really a piece of cake for a tiger to eat bean sprouts. Aboard the Kong, Li Yusong suddenly turned to look at Captain Heldon and the other crew members. Captain Heldon, thank you for your care these days. Here's a reward of 30,000 gold soul coins. The rest of you, 10,000 gold soul coins. With that, Li Yusong tossed out 8 storage soul guides. These were low level, but they were enough to hold the gold soul coins. Then I'll be back. Li Yusong soared into the air, stepped onto the void, and flew towards Poseidon Island. Aboard the Kong, Captain Heldon and his crewmate stared at each other in wide, vacant eyes. Your Majesty, this is serious. Truly. I can't think of anything good to say. What a kind man, one crew member remarked. Yes, Heldon stared blankly at the storage soul guide in his hand. The one he received was mid-level, with a relatively large storage area. After a long pause, Heldon finally said to the crew, "Ha, boys, set sail and return. This time, I'll treat you to a feast in Vast Sea City." Oh, X7, the Kong's crew happily returned. They had truly made a killing this time, the kind that they hadn't had to work for nearly 10 years. Heldon returned to his captain's cabin. He used his psychic power to probe into his storage soul guide and discovered, in addition to the gold soul coins, a blue bone and a piece of paper. The bone was pulsing with soul power. A soul bone. Heldon was startled, then looked left and right. Seeing no one around, he pulled out the paper. Heldon, well done. I'm very pleased. This 13,000-year-old narwhal left arm bone is yours as a reward. Remember my title, Sky-bearing. Thank you, Your Majesty. Sky-bearing, Heldon muttered, heading towards Poseidon Island. The gift was truly substantial, but for Heldon, it was truly wonderful. His son, now 14, was already a 28th level Great Spirit Master. His spirit wasn't his sea lion spirit, but his mother's whale spirit, and his innate spirit power had reached the 7th level. Heldon felt his son might be able to break through to the soul Douluo realm with effort. With a spirit bone, he might even reach the title Douluo realm. How could he not be grateful? Elsewhere, Li Yusong had already soared above the demon soul great white sharks. Countless ice fang attacks were directed at him, but Li Yusong immediately created a spirit barrier to neutralize them. On Sea God Island, the 7 sacred pillars suddenly looked in the same direction and simultaneously left their respective pillars. In an instant, they arrived at a beach, where a woman in a red robe stood. She looked about 1.8 meters tall, shrouded in a bright red robe. Her long, azure hair flowed down her back, nearly reaching the ground. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Her delicate features look no more than 30 years old, her beauty emanating from her aura, nobility, grace, and a gentle warmth. In her right hand, she held a 3-meter-long scepter. The scepter was golden, like the gold that had just appeared in the sky, engraved with magical patterns. A diamond-shaped protrusion, like a spear, adorned the top of the scepter. 5 inches below the tip of the spear, a diamond-shaped golden gem was embedded. Upon seeing the woman, The 7 sacred pillar Douluo simultaneously knelt on one knee and bowed before her. Greetings, High Priestess. This woman was Poseidon, the High Priestess of Sea God Island and the ultimate Douluo Poseidon. Poseidon said softly, no need to be polite. This time, we have an incredible person coming to Sea God Island. After Tang Chen, there is actually someone who has reached this level? His strength is astonishing. His blood and energy are powerful. He has a sharpness and dominance that surpasses Tang Chen's. His soul power has reached 98. His mental power is even better than mine, but his aura is so immature. He is truly a terrifying young man, Poseidon spoke leisurely, holding the scepter in her hand a little tightly. After all, she had to admit that although the visitor was only level 98, his aura made her an extreme Douluo. Feel dangerous and had to be cautious. Sea Spear Douluo said, Your Excellency the High Priest, what should we do? Take action? With the combined strength of the 7 of us, plus you should be able to kill him. The other holy pillar Douluos nodded in unison. No, the person who came here is very powerful. Although his aura was powerful when he came, he did not kill the group of demon soul great white sharks. He only passively defended against the attack. If we can avoid making enemies with him, we should do so. Let's first see the purpose of his coming. As early as 10 minutes ago, I found him. He brought a lot of people with him, including a woman who even carried the heart of the sea god. Those who can be chosen by the heart of the sea god should not be our enemies. It must be said that Poseidon, who has lived for 100 years, has a much higher vision than other young and inexperienced Saint Pillar Douluos. Chapter 269 Confrontation. A late update. The author is playing Black Monkey. He's been playing all day and has already obtained the wind-fixing orb, allowing him to defeat the great sage Yellow Wind. I only started writing at 10 o'clock. Please forgive me, this book is already nearing its end, and I'm definitely running low on motivation. I promise I won't be in the next one. At the edge of Sea God Island, Poseidon was conversing with Saint Pillar Douluo. Li Luochen's flight position suddenly shifted dramatically as a massive shark leaped from the water. Damn you, human. How dare you trespass on Sea God Island? Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're a titled Douluo, the shark spoke in a pleasant, female voice. While the voice was pleasant, the contrast with a ferocious shark was truly remarkable. Demon Shark Fang. Countless black holes formed around the demon soul great white shark, and from these holes emerged a multitude of shark teeth, charging towards Li Luochen. Tisk, please, go to sleep. Li Luochen teleported directly to the female demon soul great white shark's head and delivered a powerful punch, landing firmly on her head. The demon soul great white shark's eyes immediately swirled. The punch was both disorienting and a bit nerve-wracking, but for a 100,000-year-old spirit beast, it wasn't a big deal. The giant demon soul great white shark was stunned and fell into the sea, its snow-white belly floating on the surface. The Shrek group, speeding through the water, also spotted the massive demon soul great white shark. The most striking thing about it was the bulging red bump on its head. Wow, Brother Chen is really getting more and more terrifying. He defeated a 100,000-year-old demon soul great white shark with a single punch. Amazing, Oscar exclaimed at the stunned demon soul great white shark. Yet, the Shrek group nodded in agreement. Li Luochen's strength had reached this level, and it was time for them, the students, to strive for excellence. Stop talking nonsense and follow me. We're only a few miles away from the coast, but there are 8 extremely powerful auras near the shore, all of them titled Douluo or above. There might be a fight, so be prepared, Du Guyan said coldly. Her spiritual power had already sensed the 8 auras at the edge of Sea God Island. To be honest, 7 of them weren't stronger than her own, and she was confident she could defeat a few of them. But the aura in the center was unfathomable. Du Guyan felt it was stronger than her grandfather's, and on par with Li Luochen's. Du Guyan guessed it was a limit Douluo. Du Guyan had encountered this aura several times before, and she had also met Jin Daoliu. The most powerful limit Douluo she had ever encountered was Bibi Dong. Now another limit Douluo had arrived, and the pressure was immense. Li Luochen had also explained to her that the strength of a limit Douluo was vastly different from that of a super Douluo, and that a limit Douluo had mastered the use of their martial spirits to the extreme. Not only did they possess a unique understanding of their spirits, but their manipulation of soul power was also incredibly sophisticated. Even more incredible, ultimate Douluo levels were categorized, with those reaching demigod or higher truly unfathomable. Du Guyan had to brace herself, but she wasn't afraid of facing an ultimate Douluo. She and Li Luochen possessed a spirit fusion technique. Though it hadn't been used in a long time, the fusion level had remained at 100%. Li Luochen was now level 98, and she was 87. Their combined spirits should be formidable, even ultimate Douluo wouldn't be able to surpass them. However, Du Yuyan and Li Luochen couldn't fight without restraint. The Shrek Academy students were generally soul emperors and soul sages, with 2 soul kings among them. They wouldn't be able to defeat them at all. So, it was best to avoid a fight if possible. At the edge of Sea God Island, what? Defeated the island's guardian beast with a single strike? How? How is this possible? Seahorse Douluo exclaimed in astonishment. Xiao Bei was defeated so quickly? Master Poseidon, can you do it? Sea Girl Douluo questioned. The other Saint Pillar Douluo also looked at Poseidon, awaiting her response. Of course I can defeat Xiao Bei with a single strike, but I'd need to use my spirit ability. This expert defeated Xiao Bei with pure force. The force that knocked Xiao Bei unconscious shows not only immense power, but also incredible control of that power. At least, among the limit Douluos I know, Tang Chen's power might reach this level, but simply knocking someone unconscious without injuring them is too difficult for him. Poseidon spoke slowly. The unfamiliar expert before her filled her with fear. She hadn't known how many years, but now, her heart, silent for so long, was actually stirring. Since she became a limit Douluo, the only powerful individuals she had fought, and indeed, the only 2 she had truly fought, were Jin Daoliu and Tang Chen. Being able to engage in a hearty battle with someone of the same realm was truly exhilarating. Her own strength had long been stuck at demigod, according to the sea god. Between demigod and level 100, there was a realm he called quasi-god. This realm required, first, spiritual power reaching divine awareness, and second, the ability to attack with one's own strength reaching level 100. This realm was incredibly difficult to attain, and even the sea god reached it at the age of 150. After breaking through, he successfully wounded the deep-sea demon whale king in the demon whale sea, blinding one of its eyes. Poseidon knew that she and Jin Daoliu would likely remain stuck at the demigod level for the rest of their lives. While they could both harness the divine power of the great god and temporarily reach quasi-god strength, it was still power they didn't truly possess. Poseidon was somewhat delighted by this powerful stranger. A sparring match might help her break through her bottleneck. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Back to reality. On the edge of the Sea God Island's shores. Here it comes, Sea Dragon Douluo said coldly. A sea blue dragon appeared behind him, his martial spirit, the Sea Dragon. The other Saint Pillar Douluos all released their martial spirits. Seahorse martial spirit, Starfish martial spirit, Sea Spear martial spirit, Illusionary Serpent martial spirit, Sea Ghost Fish martial spirit, and Sea Magic Flute martial spirit. The 7 Saint Pillar Douluos simultaneously released their martial spirits, each possessing 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black spirit rings, the ultimate 9 spirit rings for ordinary title Douluos. Li Luochen had already observed the state of the 7 Saint Pillar Douluos. He simply grinned and thought to himself, haha, just showing off your power? Looks like I'll have to show off. Spirit rings, huh? I'll blind you all. Li Luochen landed like a superhero. His right fist and left knee hit the ground, his right hand and left leg supporting him. It was a perfect superhero landing. It was a shame this was a beach, so the ground couldn't respond to Li Luochen's movements. Otherwise, he'd have landed with a perfect score, the kind Ultraman Gaia would have called a perfect score. Then, Li Luochen leaned forward and slowly stood up. As he did so, spirit rings suddenly appeared around him, their appearance slow. Red, 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 orange gold, red, 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 gold. 9 spirit rings appeared. Who on Poseidon Island had ever seen such a spirit ring configuration? The 7 sacred pillars Douluo stared wide-eyed, their mouths slightly open, stunned. Even Poseidon was astonished by Li Luochen's spirit ring configuration. I am a soul master from the continent, with the title, Kingshan. I am honored to meet you, your excellencies from the Sea God Island, Li Luochen said with a smile, and clasped his fists towards the Poseidon twins to show his respect. Let's use courtesy first and then force, that's what Li Luochen thought. Chapter 270, Assessment. A false alarm. The previous chapter was titled wrong, it should be chapter 262, I am a continental spirit master, titled, Skybearing. Your excellencies of Sea God Island, I greet you, Li Luochen immediately launched into a flurry of 4 melodies, leaving the extreme Douluo and 7 tidal Douluo of Seagoat Island completely bewildered. Oh, Your Excellency Sky-bearing, you greet me, X7. The 7 sacred pillar Douluos simultaneously clasped their fists in return, though they bowed, showing respect to Li Luochen, the supremely powerful sky-bearing Douluo. Poseidon also clasped her fists in return. Facing a formidable being like Li Luochen, she felt the need to express her respect. Although she could sense that Li Luochen was at level 98, his 100,000-year spirit rings were genuine. She had already brought him to the same level as herself. I wonder, Your Majesty, what brings you to Seagoat Island? Poseidon asked in a soft voice, so gentle it captivated Tang Chen and Jin Daoliu. Li Luochen also took a look at Poseidon. He was handsome. No less handsome than his mother-in-law, Bibi Dong. But he still fell short of his own little angel. As expected, the little angel was the most beautiful on the continent. It was a real steal. Please wait a moment, Your Majesty Sigurd, Li Luochen said with a smile. Suddenly, a dozen people appeared on the beach. They all looked to be around 20 years old. Their soul power fluctuations were generally around the Soul Emperor level, and several had even reached the Soul Sage level. Even the discerning Poseidon was a little shocked. Reaching the Soul Emperor level, and even the Soul Sage level, at around 20 years old, could their talent be so formidable? Poseidon had some suspicions in his mind, waiting for Li Luochen's response. Everyone is here, Your Majesty, Sigurd. We're here to take part in the assessment bestowed upon us by Lord Sigurd. Please take them there, Li Luochen directly stated the purpose of their visit. The 7 sacred pillar Douluos were stunned, as if they had been stunned for the last time today. They knew all too well what the Seagoat Island assessment entailed. It was tantamount to seeking death. While the rewards were generous, the dangers were also immense. All right, follow me, Poseidon said calmly. She sensed that today might be a special day. The 7 sacred pillar Douluos breathed a sigh of relief. So, what had they been so nervous about? It was just a test. It was a false alarm. The 7 sacred pillar Douluos led the way, guiding the Shrek group through a forest. If the air on the beach was moist and pure, then the air in the woods was filled with the freshness of nature. The air here was even more delicious than that in the Star Dou Great Forest. Due to their high strength, they advanced at a remarkable pace, and soon arrived at a unique location. At this moment, what appeared before the Shrek group was a pool of water, a pool within a sea. Most bizarrely, this inland pool, which should have been perfectly calm, was now surging like the ocean, moving without a single gust of wind. Dense forest surrounded the pool, which appeared to be approximately 500 meters in diameter. In its center, a triangular platform stood atop a strange stone pillar. The pillar was shaped like a pointed cone, with a unique sculpture carved at the top. Countless intricate patterns were engraved throughout the entire shaft. It seemed to be a form of writing, and an invisible, strange energy emanated from this strange pillar. One of the 7 sacred pillar Douluos stepped forward, leaping directly beneath the pillar and speaking slowly to the Shrek group. Welcome to the sea within the sea. I am Seahorse Douluo, one of the 7 sacred pillars. This is my Seahorse sacred pillar. If you wish to participate in the assessment, it will be determined by your strength. The sea god has endowed the 7 sacred pillars with divine power, through which his will is transmitted. Any of these pillars can test outsider spirit masters. You will receive the questions from the sea god here, said the tall Seahorse Douluo. He possessed a striking appearance, at least among the 7 sacred pillars, he was the most handsome. As he spoke, a hazy blue glow shone behind him. Immediately afterwards, the Seahorse sacred pillar behind him suddenly lit up, a deep blue light radiating from the bottom all the way to its summit. From the Seahorse sacred pillar's summit, a circle of blue ripples suddenly surged, stretching across the sea within the sea like a curtain of light. Since the Seahorse sacred pillar stood approximately 10 meters tall, the curtain of light suspended above the sea within the sea was also 10 meters high. Needless to say, this 10-meter distance limits flight ability and forward travel. Li Luochen, observing Seahorse Douluo's movements, suddenly smiled. Classmates, His Majesty the Seahorse is testing you. Why don't you let His Majesty the Seahorse open your eyes? Hearing Li Luochen's words, the Shrek Academy, already eager to take action, eagerly waited. Yu Xiangxin took the lead, transforming into a humanoid Tyrannosaurus Rex and charging into the sea. Seahorse Douluo muttered, Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus? Interesting. On the other side, Sea Dragon Douluo, Upon witnessing Yu Xiangxin's blue lightning Tyrannosaurus, felt his own sea dragon martial spirit surge, a fervor that evoked a desire to compete with a blue lightning Tyrannosaurus. However, he quickly suppressed this urge. After all, they were taking the test, no rush. With a wave of his right hand, the waves before him surged, reaching 10 meters high, seemingly blocking all paths of advance. The boiling water roared with a mighty roar, yet it never spilled beyond the confines of the sea within the sea. However, the dragon man transformed by Yu Xiangxin was unstoppable, unable to stop the waves. Soon, he reached the platform of the seahorse sacred pillar. Then, Niu Dun, Yang Wu, Wang Yuan, Jing Ling, Jiang Zhu, and Dai Mubei each displayed their powers, charging into the sea within the sea. However, Jiang Zhu used Oscar's mirror intestine to transform into a netherworld spirit cat, barely managing to make it through. Dai Mubei struggled. His three amplifying spirit skills, White Tiger Bodyguard, White Tiger Vajra Transformation, and White Tiger Demon God Transformation, were struggling against the waves. He hid behind Niu Dun and slowly charged forward. Several sacred pillar Douluos marveled at the extraordinary strength of the young spirit masters. They wondered how strong the remaining ones were. The latest novels are now available on the 6-9 book bar. Now, only Du Guyan, Zhu Zhuqing, Yi Lingling, Ma Hongjian, Bai Chengxiang, Oscar, and Ning Rongrong remained at the beach. Ma Hongjian smiled faintly. It was finally his time to show off. He liked the line he'd found when reading novels. The hero always appears last, the kind of mindless novels written by Li Luqian, where the action was all about the fun. Ma Hongjian took Bai Chengxiang's hand and flew into the sea, so fast that the waves couldn't catch up. In just a few breaths, they reached the seahorse sacred pillar platform. Oscar and Ning Rongrong also held hands, a pair of wings appearing behind them as they flew over. Speedy swifts. Still so useful. Now, only Du Guyan, Zhu Zhuqing, and Yi Lingling remained. The three women simultaneously released their spirit rings, Du Guyan, yellow, purple, black, black, red, Zhu Zhuqing, yellow, purple, black, black, Yi Lingling, yellow, purple, purple, black, black. Each spirit ring configuration was more outrageous than the last. A sixth spirit skill lasting 100,000 years? Seventh and eighth spirit rings, 100,000 years? The seven Saint Pillar Douluos were stunned. They hadn't even acquired 100,000 year spirit ring in all their years as title Douluos. Their ninth spirit rings were generally around 90,000 years old. This was because they had obtained the most suitable spirit rings by using the divinely gifted spirit rings they had received as rewards through the assessments. These people before them were truly formidable. After the three women released their spirit rings, Du Guyan transformed into Golden Green Dragon Man. The aura she exuded from her dragon-like state immediately overwhelmed Sea Dragon Douluo and Yu Xiangxin. Yu Xiangxin was used to being oppressed, so it wasn't a big deal. Sea Dragon Douluo, however, was stunned. Such a powerful dragon spirit, Du Guyan leaped onto the platform with a single bound, followed by Zhu Zhuqing and Yi Lingling. Yi Lingling, similarly using her mirror intestines to transform into a netherworld spirit cat, successfully reached the platform. After watching this, Li Luqian immediately brought the illusion of the 8 immortals crossing the sea, each displaying their magical powers, to life. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 Outrageous Assessment. The Shrek group arrived at the Seahorse Pillar platform, each displaying their extraordinary abilities. The most outrageous were two women, Du Guyan and Zhu Zhuqing. One possessed a sixth spirit skill of 100,000 years, while the other possessed two 100,000-year spirit rings. All seven sacred pillar Douluos knew that High Priest Poseidon only possessed one 100,000-year spirit ring. According to the High Priest, her ninth spirit ring was originally 90,000 years old, but after passing the High Priest's final assessment, the age of all her spirit rings was increased to 10,000 years. This is how she acquired 100,000-year spirit rings. This is also why Poseidon, while teaching the seven sacred pillar Douluos, urged them to push their limits when absorbing divinely bestowed spirit rings. If one of them were fortunate enough to be chosen by Lord Sigurd to inherit Poseidon's position as High Priest, they would be able to achieve a 9th spirit ring exceeding 100,000 years. Returning to reality, Seahorse Douluo slowly approached the seahorse pillar, his eyes gleaming with reverence as he faced the pillar. One person stepped forward. The hearts of the Shrek people tightened. They knew the true test was about to begin. And this was exactly what they had been waiting for. Wasn't this trip to Seagoat Island an opportunity to improve their strength under pressure? The first to step forward was surprisingly Daimyo Bei, who stopped a pace behind Seahorse Douluo. Everyone at Shrek was stunned. Why had this guy taken the lead? Seahorse Douluo slowly raised his hands, his face filled with reverence. He brought them to his chest, palms half a foot apart, facing each other. A faint blue light slowly appeared in the center of his palms. As the blue light gradually intensified, Du Yuyan suddenly felt a strange sense of deja vu. When the blue light filled Seahorse Douluo's palms, it suddenly blazed, illuminating the entire seahorse sacred pillar with a clear blue glow. Then, a flash of light appeared below the seahorse sacred pillar, and a blue light spread upward along the pillar's lines. In the blink of an eye, it reached the top. Seahorse Douluo turned to face Daimyo Bei, pointing his right hand towards him. A beam of blue light descended from the sky, enveloping Daimyo Bei. Bathed in it, Daimyo Bei seemed dazed, apparently unperceiving it. The light began to shift in color, from blue to white, then quickly from white to yellow, and almost without pause, to purple. The purple gradually deepened, and this time the pace of the shift slowed. The purple streak climbed until it reached nearly a third of the way up the seahorse pillar, before pausing. It soon resumed its upward movement, this time at an even faster pace. In a matter of moments, the purple streak had spread across the entire seahorse pillar. The seahorse pillar behind Seahorse Douluo also turned completely purple. Immediately afterwards, 3 beams of purple light shot out simultaneously before Daimyo Bei, culminating in a single purple streak appearing on his forehead. Very good. The purple level trial. This is the most cost-effective test on our Seagoat Island. It's less difficult than the black level trial, and the rewards are higher than the yellow level trial. Your soul power is at level 58. Passing all the tests will likely lead you to Soul Sage, laying a solid foundation for your future Soul Master career. You have the potential to become a titled Douluo. Seahorse Douluo's tone was easygoing. After all, in his view, the black level trial was a punishment. There had been black level trials over the years, but only 7 of them had succeeded, the rest had died. In the eyes of the Saint Pillar Douluo, the purple level trial was the most cost-effective. Daimyo Bei felt incredibly lucky. Since he had secured such a cost-effective test, he really wanted to go far. Okay, next one, Seahorse Douluo called out. Yu Xiangxin stepped forward, and Seahorse Douluo, as usual, unleashed the power of the Saint Pillar on her. However, Yu Xiangxin and Daimyo Bei were very different. Initially, Yu Xiangxin had also quickly reached yellow before turning purple, the purple color deepening, but this time the transformation was incredibly rapid. Seahorse Douluo seemed startled by the shifting light around Yu Xiangxin. Soon, the purple light had completely turned black, nearly burying Yu Xiangxin in the beam of light. On the seahorse holy pillar behind Seahorse Douluo, the lines at the bottom also began to turn black, gradually climbing upwards. The black lines of light reached nearly a third of the way up the pillar before pausing. Soon, they continued their upward spread, this time at a faster pace. Within a moment, the black lines had covered the entire pillar. Immediately afterwards, 6 beams of black light shot out simultaneously before Yu Xiangxin, transforming into 6 square screens of light. Each screen shimmered with distinctive golden characters. The characters on the first screen shone brightly, while those on the other 5 screens were much dimmer. Seahorse Douluo's lips twitched slightly as he smiled wryly. 6 black level trials. 2 more than I had before. Lord Seagoat, could this person be a sinner? The 6 light curtains converged, transforming into 6 points of black light that simultaneously sank into Yu Xiangxin's forehead. A black hexagonal star, as dark as ink, appeared on his forehead. Yu Xiangxin seemed to sense something, and the blankness in his eyes gave way to a deep, inky gaze. Without a word, he quickly stepped back, sitting cross-legged on the ground, eyes closed, brows furrowed slightly, as if lost in thought. After Yu Xiangxin finished, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Wang Yuan, Jing Ling, and Jiang Zhu all stepped forward, but Seahorse Douluo sighed for a moment. The result was predictable. All black level trials. Yang Wu and Niu Dun both passed black level 6, while the substitute trio, Wang Yuan and Jingling, both passed black level 4. This made Seahorse Douluo question his life. Ma Hongjin noticed Seahorse Douluo's expression, which was somewhat questionable. Ma Hongjin couldn't help but ask, "Senior, what are the 6 black level tests? Can you explain them to us?" Seahorse Douluo nodded slowly. The tests given by Lord Poseidon are divided into levels. Different levels have different difficulties. Just like the colors of the spirit rings, from low to high, they are white level tests, yellow level tests, purple level tests, black level tests, and the red top level tests. The latest novels are first published on the 6th book bar. Lord Poseidon will conduct different tests for different people. The content of the test is just shown in the light screen that appeared. Only the testee and the examiner can know it. I am your examiner. Passing different levels of tests will also gain corresponding power on Poseidon Island. The test will not only be based on the testee's strength, but also on his potential. This is the will of Lord Poseidon. White and yellow level tests only have one test. Passing them is considered a success. Purple level tests become more differentiated, with 1 to 3 tests. That is, if the light emanating from the sacred pillar appears before you as a single one, you must undergo 1 purple level test. If it appears as 3, you must pass all 3 to pass. The more tests, the greater the difficulty, and the higher the authority gained upon passing. Black level tests, on the other hand, will have at least 4, and at most 6. These are the 6 black level tests I mentioned earlier. These 6 black level tests are arguably the most difficult of all. I can tell you that in the past 100 years, the black level test has occurred a total of 31 times, with 7 passing and 24 failures. I was one of those 7 who passed. These 7 individuals are now the guardians of the 7 sacred pillars of Sea God Island. Of the 7 of us, only Sea Dragon Douluo, the guardian of the Sea Dragon sacred pillar, has passed the 6 black level tests. He is also the strongest among us, with his soul power now surpassing level 95. Seahorse Douluo explained the assessments, reassuring those taking them. Dai Mubei jokingly remarked that his luck was truly exceptional, having chosen the most cost-effective assessment. A black level assessment would be life-threatening, not worth it. Meanwhile, Yu Xiangxin and the others, including the 3 substitutes, remained resolute. Hardships are the root of hardship, and this kind of hardship is essential for becoming a strong person. Chapter 272. Even more outrageous things are coming. Seahorse Douluo's explanation was detailed, but his sole purpose was to show these young people how difficult the 6 black level trials were. Passing them would grant them authority equivalent to that of a Holy Pillar Guardian. Failure would result in only one outcome, death. Seahorse Douluo added, having accepted the test from Lord Poseidon, the process must begin immediately. The black level trials for Uland Soul Masters have a time limit of 1 test per year. After completing one, the next test will appear. If you exceed the time limit or attempt to escape, the Sea God seal previously imprinted on his forehead will explode, wiping out the participant. In the black level trials, there are no failures, only passers and the dead. Hence, it is also known as heaven and hell. I didn't expect Lord Poseidon to test Uland Soul Masters so hard. It's not too late for those of you who come after you to regret. Otherwise, if another black level trial appears, you will end up like him. Since you are not from the Spirit Hall, I can tell you frankly that with the strength of several of them in their 60s, there is no chance of them passing the 6 black level trials. They will surely die. After listening to Seahorse Douluo's explanation, Oscar suddenly said, "Wait a minute, Senior. You said that my brothers have no chance of passing the trials and will surely die. So, how did you pass the test back then?" "As far as I know, people on Sea God Island must take the test when they are 18 years old." "Were you stronger than my brothers when you were 18? Seahorse Douluo shook his head and said, "When I was 18, I hadn't even reached level 40, which is much worse than him now. But there is one thing you must understand. Lord Seagod's black level test for our Sea God Island Soul Masters is to complete one every 10 years. Despite this, my 4th black level test still made me survive several times. The last test I faced was to survive for 1 hour among a group of demon soul great white sharks, excluding the island's guardian beasts. Everyone fell silent, but Seahorse Douluo did not see any fear or discouragement on any of their faces. Zhu Huqing walked out and stood in the place where she had been tested before. A faint smile rippled across her cold and charming face. "Senior, please grant me the test, Lord Seagod." Seahorse Douluo frowned slightly. "Won't you reconsider it?" You already have 100,000-year spirit ring. I don't know how you obtained it, but with your talent, there's no need to gain power this way. With your talent, you might surpass me in just 20 years. Is it worth risking your life like this? Zhu King said calmly. Senior, we came here to be tested. If the test is too easy, wouldn't our trip be in vain? How can there be motivation without pressure? We have done many impossible things. It's nothing to create another miracle. Besides, I want to become stronger. I want to stand by him, not be a vase. He is not only young but also powerful. All I can do is try my best to catch up with him. Zhu King's words were very firm. This girl of few words was extremely determined in her heart, which was also what Li Yusong liked about her. Well, you young people are truly driven. Few possess your courage. The titled Douluo said nothing more. The blue light condensed once more, and amidst the shimmering light of the seahorse sacred pillar, another beam descended from the sky, enveloping Zhu King. The sea god's light, without hesitation, transitioned from white to yellow, then to purple, swiftly entering that strange black world. The black magic pattern rose straight up. Under Seahorse Douluo's glaring eyes, it slowly surpassed the center of the seahorse sacred pillar, signaling the difficulty of Zhu King's sixth black level trial. However, the black magic pattern didn't pause, continuing its ascent, quickly reaching 2/3 of the way up, marking the point where the sixth black level trial would begin. Oh my god. I'm going crazy. There haven't been any black level trials in years, and yet, 7 have appeared in just a moment. Seahorse Douluo sighed inwardly. But at that moment, the magic pattern, which had seemed to have paused, suddenly surged upwards. Immediately afterwards, the black magic patterns covering the seahorse holy pillar instantly changed color, transforming into a brilliant, crystal red. A streak of red light shot up into the sky, piercing the air. The blood-like light pierced the heavens, scattering a shimmer of blood across the clear blue sky. On Seagoat Island, thousands of eyes simultaneously turned upward. Among them, the 6 holy pillar Douluo standing on the shore were filled with astonishment. Almost simultaneously, they exclaimed the same words. Top, level, 8, tests. Poseidon, hidden in the void, was equally astonished by the scene. Suddenly, a hint of surprise and even more joy spread across his face. The red light gradually faded, and the 8 red screens of light sank into Zhu King's forehead, transforming into a strange, crimson 8-pointed star. Her once fair skin was tinged with a faint red glow. Miss, may I know your full name? Seahorse Douluo bowed slightly, greeting Zhu King. Senior, my name is Zhu King. Why are you here? Zhu King said in surprise. Seahorse Douluo swallowed. It's an honor to be your examiner. Although I don't understand why the top-level test would be on you, for a long time to come, if you need anything on the island, you can come to me. I will do my best to help you solve it. Oscar blinked and couldn't help but say, Senior, the gap is too big. They are only 2 tests away from her. Why is the gap so big? Isn't it the difference between the 6th and 8th tests? Seahorse Douluo didn't even look at Oscar, and the respect on his face deepened a little. Unlike the black level test, there has never been a record of failure in the top level test since it first appeared. The latest novels are first published on the 69th book bar. The last time a top level test appeared was for the Grand Priest of this island. As long as Miss Zhu King passes the top level test, she will be the successor to the Grand Priest. She will also be the future leader of Seagoat Island. After listening to Seahorse Douluo's explanation, everyone finally understood. They exchanged bewilderment, their gazes at Zhu King becoming strange. Oscar pondered, Senior, are the 8 top-level tests easier than the 6 black-level tests? Seahorse Douluo shook his head, of course not. The 8 top-level tests are more than a notch higher in overall difficulty than the 6 black-level tests. However, every time a top-level test appears, it signifies the emergence of a powerful spirit master capable of completing it and inheriting the position of worshipper. No matter how difficult it is, success is certain. Oscar couldn't wait any longer. Well, I'm ready to. Come on, Senior. Seahorse Douluo unleashed the Holy Pillar once again, and Oscar also failed the 7 top-level tests. Respected sir, may I ask your name? Your Majesty, my name is Oscar. Next, Oscar, Ma Hongjin, and Ning Rongrong all passed the 7 top-level tests. Your Majesty, my name is Ma Hongjin. Your Majesty, my name is Ning Rongrong. Later, Bai Chengxiang took the test, but unfortunately, She only passed the 6 black level tests. Seahorse Douluo was immune to this, and he could now be considered a man who had seen many ups and downs. Yearlingling, like Zhu's Huking, was taking the same top 8 tests, but only had a few more black level tests per day, 3 top 7 tests, and 2 top 8 tests. Anyway, Seahorse Douluo's head was buzzing, and even Poseidon wondered if he was hallucinating due to his age. Chapter 273 The 9 Tests of the Sea God. Now only Dou remained untested. Everyone had fully digested the test and were waiting for their eldest sister to prepare. Dou approached slowly, her husband Li Luojan's words still lingering in her mind. Since she had received the approval of the vast sea universe shade, she would surely pass the 9 trials of the sea god. The 9 trials of the sea god were unlike other tests, they were tests for true deities. Deities were all-powerful beings who had previously surpassed the 100th level and ascended to the divine realm. The sea god himself was a sea spirit master, achieving deity after unifying the faith of the sea. He was an extremely powerful deity. "Senior, please begin," Dou said calmly. Dou was the only one left among the Shrek group who had yet to undergo the test bestowed by the sea god's light. A blue light shone, quietly bathing Dou. Strangely, after enveloping Dou, the blue light didn't change color as quickly as it had for the others. It remained blue, but its glow grew increasingly stronger. This was a new experience for Seahorse Douluo. He couldn't understand why the blue light hadn't changed. Even the weakest spirit masters would at least face a white level test, and the girl before him was incredibly powerful. Though only a spirit Douluo, she possessed 200,000-year spirit rings. Seahorse Douluo doubted he could defeat her. Logically, this girl's strength should be at least 8th level, but he had no idea what was happening. Blue, white, yellow, and purple, each color flashed before transforming into the next, so rapidly it was almost dizzying. Even the transition from purple to black took only a split second. The next moment, the black magic pattern ascended at an astonishing speed, surpassing that of all those who had previously undergone the test. Sure enough, another top-level test. Seahorse Douluo found his heart pounding. This excitement was nothing short of impressive. Today, the 7 sacred pillar Douluos had truly witnessed something truly spectacular. The black magic pattern smoothly passed through the seahorse pillars 2/3 of the way up, transforming from black to blood red. A blood-colored magic pattern suddenly appeared. Moreover, this time, the blood-colored magic pattern didn't simply leap a little from its original 2/3 point, it instantly surged to the top, reaching the pillar's highest point. A humming sound, like the ocean's wailing, echoed from the seahorse pillar. Immediately afterwards, a massive blood-colored pillar of light, 10 times more powerful than the one triggered by the previous top-level assessment, shot up into the sky. The sea within the sea was seething. At that moment, the entire sea within the sea suddenly erupted into a massive wave 100 meters high, shooting vertically upward. Within the waves, a powerful, misty blue light erupted. The transformation wasn't over yet. The entire sea god island seemed to tremble with the crimson light rising from the seahorse pillar. Then, the Shrek group clearly saw 6 similarly massive blood-colored pillars rising into the sky. The 7 pillars converged at a single point in the sky. The next moment, the blood-colored light faded, and from that point, a beam of dazzling golden light descended from the sky. At that moment, everything seemed to have entered an absolute stillness, with only a brilliant, resplendent light descending from the heavens. Like the center point between sea and sky. Dou had seen golden soul power before, the most iconic being undoubtedly Jinrixu's 6-winged angel spirit. She had also seen the color of Li Luojan's soul power, which glowed blood red when in full force, while normally possessed a 9-colored hue. Dou was quite familiar with golden soul power. After all, she knew Jinrixu intimately, and they both understood each other well. However, the golden light before her was unlike any other golden color she had ever witnessed. It was a majestic and magnificent light of kingly righteousness. The moment it appeared, the entire sea god island, the 7 sacred pillars, the forests, the hills, and even the sea within the sea, was completely bathed in golden light. Even the sea spirit masters and the Shrek clan were bathed in that unique golden light. The only exception was Li Luojan. His killing god domain automatically protected him, illuminating him with a unique blood-red glow. Li Luojan also sensed the changes in the killing god domain. As expected of you, Shrek god, you truly protect your child. In fact, when Li Luojan sensed Dou undergoing the test, a blue light emanated from her body and rushed towards him, only to be shattered by Li Luochun's killing god domain. Standing before the seahorse sacred pillar, Dou Yuyan felt a strange sensation from the golden light, as if something within her was triggered. Immediately, 9 square golden light screens materialized out of thin air, appearing before him. The first screen shone the brightest, while the others appeared dim. Before Dou Yuyan could even consider, the screens drifted directly into her brow like golden meteors. Suddenly, a vast amount of information flooded her mind, all of it blurry and unclear, with only a single stream of information clearly discernible. Her mind was filled with a vast golden light, and then, Dou Yuyan felt a surge of special energy, like a sudden enlightenment. Her entire body felt as if immersed in a cool, refreshing liquid, an indescribable comfort. Gradually, Dou Yuyan felt a subtle shift in her body within the golden light. She couldn't explain what it was, but the sensation was magical, like her body's functions being restructured, an indescribable comfort. Dou Yuyan felt like she could now handle Li Luochun on her own, letting him hold on to the wall as she walked out. Dou Yuyan unconsciously exhaled a breath of foul air, as if the golden light had forced out all the impurities within her body. The golden light gradually faded, first from the air and the sea, then from all directions. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Dou Yuyan's body was the final destination of all this golden light. And where all that golden light finally converged was right at the center of his forehead. There, not a star-shaped mark remained, but a golden trident. The faint golden trident imbued Dou Yuyan with a sense of majestic nobility. Even as she stood there, the trident carried a commanding presence. Dou Yuyan sensed it and thought to herself, this must be the 9 trials of the sea god. Deities typically undergo 9 trials, while high priests undergo 8. It seems I, too, have the potential to become a god. When I do, I'll make that bastard Chen escape with his back against the wall. Seahorse Douluo shook his head vigorously, then looked at Dou Yuyan again. He saw the same trident brand, gleaming with a brilliant golden light. This was no dream. What kind of trial is this? Seahorse Douluo was bewildered, his newly stabilized mind shattered again. Wow! Sister Yan, the trident on your forehead is so beautiful. Ningrongrong couldn't help but admire it, touching Dou Yuyan's forehead. Oscar asked Seahorse Douluo again, Senior, what exactly did that golden light just now represent? Could there be another 9 trials? Seahorse Douluo was about to speak when a leisurely voice came from afar. The voice seemed to come from the heavens, beautiful and melodious, as if it came from the heavens, but also full of kindness. Don't make things difficult for him. This is the first time such a situation has occurred since the emergence of Seagoat Island. What you have to endure is not the top 9 trials, but the 9 trials of the sea god. The long-awaited Poseidon's brilliant appearance was the style that a limit Douluo should have. Chapter 274 The Light of the Sea God. Poseidon's sudden appearance startled everyone. Greetings, High Priest, the 7 sacred pillar Douluo saluted. Greetings, His Majesty, the Sea God. The Shrek Academy members also saluted. Li Luochun had already informed them that the High Priestess of Sea God Island was a limit Douluo, a remarkable woman. They needed to show her due respect. After all, our Shrek Academy motto is many courtesies are always welcome. At this moment, the Shrek Academy members finally got a close look at limit Douluo Poseidon. Poseidon stood approximately 1.8 meters tall, shrouded in a vibrant red robe. Her long, ocean blue hair flowed down her back, reaching nearly the ground. Her delicate features suggested she was no more than 30 years old, her beauty emanating from her aura, nobility, grace, and a gentle warmth. In her right hand, she held a 3-meter-long scepter. It was golden, like the gold that had just appeared in the sky, engraved with magical patterns. A diamond-shaped protrusion shaped like a spear adorned the top of the scepter. 5 inches below the spear's tip, a diamond-shaped golden gem was set. Judging solely by her appearance, she was a rare beauty, and her aura was truly unmatched. Even Bibi Dong, the Pope whom the Shrek people had met, could not match her in terms of temperament. Most astonishing of all were her eyes. Their limpid blue was deeper than the ocean, and their kindness and vicissitude seemed to have endured through eternity. How could such eyes belong to a woman of 30? Greetings, High Priest. Seahorse Douluo bowed slightly, saluting the red-robed woman. I have failed to carry out the instructions of the sea god. Please punish me, High Priest. The red-robed woman smiled faintly, and the ocean beneath her seemed to ripple with her smile. It's not your fault. This is the first time I've seen anything like this either. Her gaze darted around, and everyone present seemed to sense she was looking at them. The red-robed woman's gaze finally settled on Dou Yan. Or rather, on the golden trident brand on her forehead. Young lady, I've waited for over 100 years, and now, at the end of my life, I finally meet you. Can you tell me about your origins? Listening closely to her voice, Dou Yan felt her heartbeat quicken. It wasn't her beauty, of course, but her voice, brimming with emotion from the depths of her soul. She looked like an ordinary human, but Dou Yan knew full well that the woman before him was on par with Jin Ringsu's grandfather, Jin Daoliu. It was said she had even surpassed him. Was this the ultimate Douluo? It was truly terrifying. Sure enough, I'd delayed my training. Otherwise, I would have reached the rank of title Douluo. Junior Dou Yan, a continental spirit master, first wife of King Shen Douluo, granddaughter of Poison Douluo, and 87th level battle spirit Douluo. Dou Yan clasped her hands together and bowed slightly to Poseidon. However, to her surprise, Poseidon Douluo Bosaxi flashed to her side, ignoring her courtesy. No need for formalities, His Majesty King Shen's first wife? It seems His Majesty King Shen has more than one wife. You are so outstanding, why is he so promiscuous? He's truly not a good man. Forget it, this is your business, not mine, Bosaxi frowned. Li Luochen, standing off stage, felt the awkwardness of this statement. Poseidon, you're going to go all in, right? What do you mean I'm not a good man? Bosaxi quickly recovered his composure and fixed Dou Yan with his eyes. Dou Yan, look at me. Dou Yan met Bosaxi's gaze, her gaze calm, without a trace of retreat. Bosaxi solemnly declared, from now on, remember that no one on Seagoat Island is worthy of your courtesy. That includes me, huh? Dou Yan stared at Seagoat Douluo in surprise, puzzled as to why this peak powerhouse would address her in such a way. Bosaxi turned to Seahorse Douluo. Hooya, pass on my orders. Until these individuals complete the Seagoat's trials, they are all VIPs of this island. No one may neglect or offend them. Beyond assisting them in their trials, please satisfy their needs as best you can. They will reside in your Seahorse City. Yes, Seahorse Douluo Hooya agreed respectfully. Despite not having seen the High Priest for 10 years, Bosaxi reigned supreme on Seagoat Island. Only the Seagoat himself could surpass her. And the rest of you, come to my Seagoat temple tomorrow to discuss matters. Bosaxi glanced at the 6 Saint Pillar Douluos, who were enjoying themselves. Yes, X6 Bosaxi's gaze fell on Dou Yan again, and he smiled and nodded at her. Very good, very good. I believe you can pass the test of Lord Poseidon. If you need anything, you can ask Hooya. Remember, you must complete at least one of the 9 Poseidon tests every year. Otherwise, all your efforts will be wasted, Dou Yan replied. I will not fail. Bosaxi's face changed, and Dou Yan felt a flash before her eyes. Bosaxi appeared only a few centimeters away from her. His originally kind eyes suddenly turned cold, and the unparalleled pressure made Dou Yan unable to even breathe. Li Luochen was at Dou Yan's side in an instant, using his own soul power to resist Bosaxi's pressure. Dou Yan, remember, never allow the thought of failure to enter your mind. I can tell you, your assessment is crucial to the survival of Seagoat Island. If you fail, the consequences will be far more than just death. They will be far more horrific. Maintain your faith. The latest novel is now available on the 69th Book Forum. With that, Poseidon glared at Li Luochen and then left. Too powerful. Just that single aura she just radiated made me feel like my body was about to burst, Oscar said with lingering fear. At that moment, Seahorse Douluo's voice rang out, Dear guests, please follow me. A rich blue light emanated from Seahorse Douluo's hand. With a slight wave, a strange scene unfolded. The water on one side of the sea surged up, condensing in the air. In a moment, it transformed into a bridge. It didn't lead to the place they had come from, but rather to the deeper forests of Seagoat Island. Seahorse Douluo led the Shrek Academy group to Seahorse City. Li Luochen decided to rest for a night before taking the assessment. On the way, he asked Dou Yan what the first assessment was. Dou Yan replied, traveling through the Seagoat's light. Hint, head to the core forbidden area of Seagoat Island. Ascend the first 666 steps. You'll be considered a pass. You can withdraw midway. Time limit, 1 year. Li Luochen was stunned. What the hell? Why 666 steps? Wasn't Tang San 333? Was he being treated differently? But upon closer inspection, Dou Yan's strength was far superior to Tang San from the original timeline. Li Luochun's inquiry revealed that everyone's assessment involved crossing the sea god's light, even Daimyu Bei, a purple-level player. Daimyu Bei ascended the 64th step. Those taking the 4th test ascended the 81st step. Those taking the 6th test ascended the 108th step. Those taking the 7th test ascended the 136th step. The 8 examinees climbed 256 steps. Chapter 275 The Secret of the Sea God's Light. The next morning, the Shrek group had gathered at the gates of the city lord's mansion. Today, they were preparing to embark on the first test, traversing the light of the sea god. Li Luochun had come to Sea God Island specifically to withstand the immense pressure of the light. With the light, Li Luochun felt safe to undertake this task. Dear guests, are you heading to the forbidden area? The purple-robed Sea Soul Master, approximately 50 years old, was surprised to hear everyone's intentions. Oscar said, well, we're accepting the test bestowed by the sea god. The first test involves traversing the light of the sea god. Therefore, we must go to the forbidden area of Sea God Island. So, thank you for your help. The purple-robed Sea Soul Master suddenly understood and said, okay, I'll take you there right away. Is there anything else you need? Led by the purple-robed Sea Soul Master, the Shrek group left Seahorse City and headed straight for the city's edge. As they walked, Mo Hongjin asked Li Luochun, somewhat bewilderedly, Brother Chen, isn't this too easy? We're going to a forbidden area, so why is this purple-robed Sea Spirit Master leading us there without even asking? Easy? Haha, you'll know when we get there, Li Luochun said with a smile. Oscar pondered for a moment and then said, a question suddenly occurred to me. If the sea god's light is a barrier to prevent enemy invasion, it will put pressure on us when we enter. Then, will this pressure stimulate our potential? If the answer is yes, then this first assessment, which is the same for everyone, can only be a good thing for us. Huh? How did you know that, kid? Did someone spoil it for you? Li Luochun asked in surprise. Haha, I guessed it. I was just guessing based on the Sea Spirit Master's expression and the content of our assessment. Judging from Brother Chen's expression, I think I guessed right. I'm indeed the clever and resourceful little prince. Oscar put his hand on his head, tilting it back 45 degrees. You're so clever, Ning Rongrong threw a flying kick, sending Oscar stumbling. Except for Daimyu Bei, none of your assessments were easy. The trials you're about to face are likely to be extremely difficult. If I'm guessing correctly, there are several reasons why this purple-robed Sea Spirit Master agreed to lead us to the forbidden area without hesitation. First, it's because of the brand on your foreheads. If I'm guessing correctly, when the sea god bestows a test, he not only considers the strength and potential of the testee, but also, for outsiders like us, his character. And you've all passed the high-level tests, especially alarming the High Priest, Sea God Douluo. Therefore, they needn't have any doubts about us. And in fact, we wouldn't do anything to harm Sea God Island. Secondly, since you're taking your first test in the Sea God Island forbidden area, its defenses must be incredibly formidable, including the sea god's light you'll have to endure. So, keep your best efforts. As always, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. Whether you can achieve title Douluo within a few years depends on your willpower, Li Luochun said slowly, his arms folded across his chest. After passing through another dense forest, the purple-robed Sea Spirit Master paused, and the Shrek 7 devils were stunned by the scene before them. The shimmering waters, illuminated by the sunset glow, reflected countless colorful lights. Nestled within the waters, a small island sat in the center of the circular expanse. The island was high, approximately 500 meters in elevation. Most peculiarly, it was shrouded in a faint golden glow. Though the light wasn't intense, the Shrek group could tell it wasn't the glow of the sunset glow, but rather the island's own inherent radiance. Atop the island stood a building, seemingly carved from white jade. Square and domed, from where they stood, they could only see the outermost structure, composed of massive white stone pillars. Its entire structure was crystal clear, imbued with a sacred aura. Is this the forbidden area? Oscar murmured. The purple-robed Sea Spirit Master's eyes were filled with piety. Yes, this is the forbidden area of our Sea God Island. The Sea God Temple, dedicated to Lord Sea God, is the only building atop Sea God Mountain. It's also the true Sea God Island, also known as the island within the island. Everyone, please look, right in front of us are the stairs to the island. That's where you'll need to pass the test. There are a total of 1001 steps. Only Sea God Island Guardians who have passed Lord Sea God's purple level assessment or above are qualified to step onto the steps and worship at Sea God Temple. Otherwise, they will be blocked by Sea God's light. If you want to try the test, you can go now. I'll be waiting for you here. But please don't make any noise on Sea God Mountain, so as not to disturb Lord Sea God. Everyone looked in the direction he pointed. Sure enough, stone steps extended downward from the front of Sea God Temple. In the sunset glow, the white stone steps reflected brilliance, like a jade belt gently draped over Sea God Mountain. After exchanging a glance, the Shrek group was about to depart when the purple-robed Sea Spirit Master, as if remembering something, hurriedly said, "Dear guests, during the trials, if something seems impossible, don't force it. Simply retreat from the sacred mountain and you'll be safe. The Sea God's light is probably the only non-dangerous attempt in your future trials. So, there's no need to be overly cautious. Alright, purple-robed deacon, I'll leave their trials to them. Just give them instructions and ensure they have food and water available each day. They'll be training here from now on." Li Yusong waved his hand, allowing the purple-robed Sea Spirit Master to leave. The latest novels are now available on the 69th book bar. Yes, Your Majesty, I understand. Everyone, please don't worry about me. Actually, being allowed by Lord Poseidon to undergo the test of the Sea God's light is a blessing. This is only offered during the black level assessment. Without Lord Poseidon's permission, even those of us who have passed the test, Sea Spirit Masters, cannot enter the restricted area. The circular sea was approximately 200 meters wide, with low waves. It was called a sea, but it was actually a circular lake. Of course, the water here was still seawater. I just don't know how to enter the island. Li Yusong took a single step and reached the bottom of the stairs. How can someone who isn't the inheritor of the Sea God's light go up there? I'm the inheritor of the Azure God. Just ask the Sea God if he's impressed. Meanwhile, in the God realm, in the Sea God's temple, Azure, let's talk things over. Could you please put down this Azure sword so we can have a drink together? At this moment, the Sea God Poseidon was in a precarious position, with the Azure sword draped around his neck, just 0.01 centimeters from his throat. Poseidon, you're so shameless. You dare attack my heir? Do you want to test the sharpness of my sword? Poseidon, my halberd isn't bad either. I've seen a good embryo, incredibly talented. I didn't realize he was yours. I passed the throne to that young man's female companion. That young man will become the god of law, and my wife will become the main deity. Isn't that wonderful? Would you mind putting down your sword? Poseidon said flatteringly. HMPH, you're lucky. And don't go to Rakshasa for no reason. Rakshasa told me you were trying to harass her. Azure God sheathed his weapon. Huh? Oh, I get it. I promise I won't go. Poseidon nodded repeatedly. As for where he went, well, of course, to the Rakshasa temple. After a while, Poseidon slowly exhaled, thinking, this damn Azure must be having an affair with Rakshasa. And he even threatens me. Come and fight me in the sea if you can. Who is afraid of who in the sea? End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.